And we're live.
That music gets me every time.
What an absolute day we've all had.
Yes.
Good evening, chaps.
Evening, Craft.
Episode 4. Soon goes, doesn't it?
Yes,
it does.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming on, lots of exciting stuff. And before we go, we'll drop some little bits in throughout the episode today of stuff that we can expect going forward, just to keep people on their toes so they can listen in. And those people that want to hear it will soon understand what it's all about, which is proper pucker. And that. How's your day been, Lee?
Oh, yeah, busy. Hot, warm, sticky, busy, long. But the weekend's upon us.
Yep. Any koi-related business this week?
No, not really. So actually, funny enough, I'm going up to Comic-Con tomorrow to London, coming back. And then Sunday, I'm going to take the boy fishing and the missus will have to come. And then, Monday, I'm going to brush up on my photography skills on my own.
Good luck with that. Make sure you take some patient pills.
I will do, mate.
What about you, Dave? Had much on this week, mate?
Yeah, it's been quite a busy week photographing. My favourite job of all times, photographing new koi that have come out of quarantine. And you know how hideously frustrating that can be at times. You'll get one koi that'll sit straight there, 30 seconds, job done. Another one, 20 minutes. And you still haven't got the perfect picture.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. The ones where the pecks and it starts in reverse.
Yeah. It's the only time they ever swim in reverse when you're photographing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never ever see them swimming backwards, ever.
It's almost like they know what you want and they're just not going to play ball. Apart from that, I had a small shipment today, which I wouldn't advise anybody to get a shipment at Heathrow on a bank holiday sort of weekend, and it's a Friday, because it's been an absolute nightmare. 6 hours to do a 2.5 hour journey from Heathrow. So good job I took my bottle of oxygen, because what I decided to do was open the boxes and re-oxygenate the bags, which they were pretty flat, to be perfectly honest with you.
I'm not surprised with the heat, Dave, to be fair.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I found but depending on what size koi you've got in your bag, but you know the sachets they put in nowadays, they're great, I find, when the bag's fully inflated. But once that's 2/3 down, if you've got fairly biggish koi in there, the corners of them are so sharp. I've actually had scale damage and all sorts. I don't know why actually in Japan they don't make them with rounded corners instead of these really sharp corners to them. Perhaps have to suggest it to them.
Well, so they should do round ones.
Yeah, round ones, even better. Yeah, so they don't damage. But we've had that before, where the bag's 2/3 deflated, and all along the back of a koi you can see that's been moving. Yeah.
So today we're doing things. We like, as you can see, we like guests. So those people that have been watching us from the start, we're only on episode 4. We like to bring people in, whether it's partly to do with a hobby, whether it's industry related or dealer related or Japan related. A bit more on that in a while. And today I would like to introduce, I don't need no introduction. A lot of people will know this guy. So let's just bring him in. Mr. Paul Cunningham.
How are you doing?
So Paul down in the right-hand corner. He's not that little in real life. He's just sitting a bit far away from the camera.
I'll move up a bit then. I'll move, sit up straight.
Paul
Can you see me badge?
That's lovely.
Yeah,
Can you see that badge?
Yeah.
Northeast Koi Show badge, that one there that you did, Lee.
That's the one, mate. The little lucky kitten.
I won't mention it again. I don't want you two guys to mention it, because I know you're dead excited about coming up on the 8th and 9th of August. Yeah, I know you're really excited. And Dave, I'm not going to leave you out either. You'll not be left out, because there's a Jumbo Champion Trophy, got your name on it. So you can sponsor that so you can be a part of it as well. But no more mention of the North of England Koi Show for the rest of this show.
When is it, Paul?
8th and 9th of August at the Whitburn Academy. That's just north of Sunderland.
Yeah, it's a fair old trek. So
Don't mention, Anthony, I don't want you mentioning that again, man. No more. We'll talk about something else.
I'm sure we will probably drop something in at some point. But as you can see, Northern Gob, as we like to know, they're full of it up that way. Paul is quite, in my opinion, quite respected in the koi show scene. In my opinion, he'll disagree with me. He's a bit like Lee. He don't take flattery very well. But I spoke to Paul in the week, and I thought one thing that we'd like to discuss tonight is the Japanese dream of people going to Japan, right? Not from a dealer perspective. I mean, Paul's going to fire questions at him because I know that he will, but from a hobbyist perspective, because we get so many, and Lee would get asked as well. I know Dave gets asked. I get asked a lot. What happens when we go to Japan? How does it work? Is it worth doing? And for me as a dealer, I've only ever been as a dealer, so I can only see it from a dealer's perspective. I couldn't tell you what it's like from a hobbyist perspective. So I thought, why not invite someone on like Paul that's been 40 times now, Paul, isn't it?
No. Very few times. I've been 4 times. For the last 4 years, I've been there every November, October that time.
But you're also well versed. You've been south and north, I'm assuming.
First 2 occasions we went down south, and the second 2 occasions we went to Nagano.
Right, so well travelled in Japan as a hobbyist. 4 times is a lot, you know. It is a lot.
There's loads. Sort of lots of people have been there many times, but it's something that I think everybody should do. I do appreciate the costs that's involved, but it is doable. It's hard work, and I think there's some golden rules that you should really follow. Do your homework before you actually embark on the whole thing. And one of them,
let's not elaborate too much on everything. Let's break it down, because I think if we break it down, it'll send a good message. I mean, Lee, you've sort of like in the middle. You're dealer stroke hobbyist as well. And Dave, you pretty much wrote the Japanese rule book.
I've only done it ever as a dealer. I never did it as a hobbyist. I mean, to be honest, it's a lot easier now. Going back 25 years, it wasn't quite so easy to access going to Japan. And okay, there was a guy that, we all know Peter Waddington was doing trips at that time, but in fairness, he tended to take a certain clientele mainly. So we wouldn't have, I wouldn't have come into that category of what his other clientele would have been. So it probably has never been as easy as it is now, without a doubt.
Right, before we get main into the subject, let's have a quick thank you to everybody that has tuned in tonight and all the way through. Our numbers are absolutely unreal. Combined over the channels, Dave will be joining on the streaming site as well soon, so you can tune in on any of us, which is really important. But our figures, I think, are the best on YouTube at the minute. So well done, guys. I think that's fabulous. And I'm getting a hell of a lot of real good messages being fed back through one way or another. To that end, I'd like to put out to the audience that are watching, if you've got any ideas or stuff that you would like us to cover. I'm not saying we'll do it, because never say that you're going to do something, but if you've got ideas, fire them over, and we will do our best. We'll have a chat about it. We'll do our best to then include them going forward. And I mean anything to do with development, shows, Japan, dealers, issues, trends, you name it, fire it across. if we don't know, we've got a bloody good network of people around us that will know and potentially come on and help us explain stuff. So just want to put that out there. Also tonight, if you've got any questions, again, fire them in. We may not get round to doing all the questions, but don't be disheartened. They are being stored in the background. So there'll be one night where we'll do a Q&A session, I think, where we'll pick up on all the unanswered stuff and put it into an episode. Plenty of people already saying, oh, we got someone in from America.
Good evening.
Good evening or morning.
Yeah, Florida.
Weird looking snail that. But I like it. So, Paul, why was going to Japan so important to you? Why was you not just happy with the splendid amount of fish that us dealers spend all of our time, effort, money going to Japan to bring them back for you to look at, only to say, oh, I'm not really interested in what you got. I want to go to Japan.
I've heard a lot from people who had been there before me and gone out there, and I wondered, and I had this in the back of my mind. I was wondering if it was I being ripped off by dealers? Were the fish out in Japan that have been sold in the United Kingdom for thousands of pounds really being sold by the breeders for 5, 10, 20 quid? You know, I had to find out. I had to find out for myself what the whole structure was, so that I knew. That was the driving force for me going. Financial reasons. I'd moved up and started spending money. I'd moved up. I'd gone from being somebody who had a pond that was in the back garden, and it had lilies in it, and it had various koi swimming around in it. I joined a koi club. That lifted me up a level. I then got involved in the koi show. That lifted me up another level. And then the next thing was to actually find out what was going on in Japan. And to be honest, all of those reasons for wanting to go were blown out the water, because all of a sudden my level of knowledge of koi shot up because of going to Japan. It absolutely skyrocketed. Seeing great koi, and I've sent Crafty over some pictures this afternoon. And they do tell a story, but one of them is a Santi that won the Hiroshima show in 2022, and it was GC, and that was the one that really put me across. When I saw that fish live, I thought, crikey Moses, this is a different level altogether, different level. And then as we went round those southern breeders, Omasako and Sakai Company, you suddenly saw fish, and you suddenly realised that's good quality, that's amazing. All those things that you hear about, you see it for real, and you can start to understand. And now when it comes to doing things, we did a thing at your place, Crafty, where Alan Tate picked out 5 fish, and those 5 fish were all were to be judged and what have you. And the reason why we could pick out that good fish is because of the work that had been done in Japan, and seeing them for real, and seeing skin quality in Japan, seeing body structure in Japan, and not just being sold a fish that had a great pattern, which was what we did in the past. It was those basics: structure, skin quality, and overall amazing koi. And that you don't see that in the UK. You very rarely.
What years did you go over, Paul?
First year was 2022, then 2023, all in the November, October. So we were looking at Nisai. And so Lee looks at fish, and he's clearly said this, Lee looks at fish and gets bored with them when they get up to 65 cm. I was looking at Nisai that were 63, 64 cm. And anything, when we were down those southern breeders, anything that wasn't hitting 57 at the time, we were sort of slightly dismissive. It was all the big stuff with the aim of bringing it back to the UK, keeping it for a couple of years, and then taking it to the show, seeing them in the bigger sizes. which is where we should be, like there this year, which is pretty much what's happened 4 years down the line.
So have you, every fish that you've purchased, it's not going to price, like how much you've paid for anything, but have you kept every fish you've purchased in Japan to grow on, or have you bought them and shipped them back?
I've done the whole gamut of them. So I've bought fish, kept it as a curry for 2 years. Yoshino's got a shore of mine now that's still across there. But I think in Japan now, I think I've probably got about 6. I think 6 across there. That'll come back at various stages over probably November, and then November 27 there'll be some coming back as well. I've shipped them straight away. Last year we had a difficult year, lost some fish, didn't come out of the mud ponds. So it does happen. There's always, along with the good, there's an awful lot of bad that happens as well. You've just got to accept it. It's just, that's the game that we're playing in McCoy. They do die. They're livestock. And you just can't avoid it. It will happen.
Now, pricing.
Can I just shut the door so my wife can't hear? Because every fish.
No, I don't. I'm
Just
not
take
gonna...
2 zeros off the pricing, and everyone will know when the missus is listening.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned you going over because our dealer's ripping you off was something that was sitting in the back of your brain.
Yes.
Now, when you got over there,
yeah.
Did your view change on that?
Yeah, it did. I saw the difference in the prices. Yes, you can get cheap fish. There are millions of fish in Japan, especially in the north. There's millions of them, but they're all at different price points. And if you want that quality, everybody in the world wants that quality, and you're just going to have to fight, pay for it, and it's the way it is.
But it's not just that, is it? You go over there, you get a price for the fish pond side, but then as a hobbyist, because I've been there, I've questioned Ryan. That's nice. What's that? And he gives me a price on the pond side, but then you've got to take into account then the shipping, the fees, the QT fees, and I think that's what people think they get ripped off for, but they don't, because that's an essential part of getting that possibly expensive fish back to your pond in the UK, fully quarantined, safe as you can be, isn't it? It's a difficult one, you know. I mean, the money goes to good use, I think, there when you're actually, you know, giving your money to a reputable sort of like dealer to do it.
Wait, I know loads of dealers, and I am not going to allow you to make koi dealers look like knights in shining armor. That'll never happen. That'll never come out. They're still the enemy. No, I'm not having that. They're still at the other side of the fence. But however, I do understand all of the different elements that go in to get that quality of fish back into the UK, and there's a lot more to it. And that was one of the things I was thinking about when you asked me yesterday, Crafty, to come on here. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that there's some of the parameters you have to get right before you go to Japan, and you have to sit down and ask those hard questions. What are the commissions that are going to be charged? How much will it cost? What are the rough costs of shipping a fish? What's the percentage that the agent wants? What's the percentage that the dealer wants on top of the price that you're going to be quoted by the breeder? And you have to get those all those ducks in a row before you leave these shores and get on that very, very long airline ride to Japan that cripples me. Jesus God, I don't know how people get time. It's so long.
Oh.
One year we came back and we came back from Osaka, and we flew north up through the Bering Seas and then came over the top of the Arctic, and we were coming down through Scotland. That's where the plane was. You know, on the little map, you can see the map of where you come. And we're coming directly over Scotland. We're heading, believe at the time we were heading to Charles de Gaulle. That's where we were going to. And honestly, if I've never done it before, I've never used a parachute in my life before. But I think of one of the air hostesses who came up to me and said, "Here, Bob, have a go. Do you fancy? Home is just down there, 7 miles below where you are. You can jump out if you want to. I would have took the opportunity.
Paul, what's the longest?
hours.
What's the longest you've left a koi out there? How many years?
Two. After 2 years, and we're jumping the narrative, but it gets dangerous after 2 years. The first year you do it as a Azakari, usually you'll get some kind of guarantee.
Yep.
The second year, it's
on you.
Down to you.
Yep.
And you're looking at it and you're going, oh, and you really have to have. And again, we're jumping the narrative, moving on a bit.
It's okay, it doesn't matter.
You really have to have a good relationship with the dealer you go with, and that's crucial. And then you have to have, that dealer needs a good relationship with the agent who speaks Japanese. So the breeder, so the three, 4 years can be in the conversation as to what's best for that koi. And sometimes the breeder will be, yeah, he might like the money and he might want to keep it and he might have the facility, but it's not really, he probably thinks it's come to the end. Bring it back to the UK. Don't leave it there. And all of this is my opinion. Others might have a different opinion, obviously.
I mean, so when I go over there with Ryan sometimes, when he's got, I mean, I know that when I've had some Azakari fish over there and they've done well, and I've asked, or maybe can it stay another year? I'm not mentioning any breeders, but some breeders are a little bit more reliable on the Azakari train than others. So, I mean, you've got to play that card as well, haven't you? You know.
Yep. There's certainly some breeders that are better. With 100%, there's some breeders that are much better at keeping koi and looking after koi and all the rest of it than others, and it's just something. Maybe it's down to their facility. They've got better ponds for it. That a lot of the smaller dealers, I guess, haven't maybe got the room to really do all this.
Yeah,
it's like Yamaguchi. When you go to see Yamaguchi's Orogoi, innit? Like with those ponds, they must be 6 foot square. Yeah. And he's got like
a well.
Meter koi there. It's just a well, and they're just clamped on the bottom, going, I can't wait to be let out just to bloody, graze in the mud ponds, basically.
Yeah. I mean, sorry,
Dave. Just one thing. You've got to remember that when that fish comes out in November or October when it's harvested, that thing doesn't go back into any kind of water, any kind of great water, until getting on to April. It's a long time. You keep a fish there as a Azakari, there's a long time it's just in some concrete holding pen, just waiting for the time when it can then go back into a mud pond where it hopefully will flourish. But you've got you see it as a Azakari and you pay the bill in October, November time, long time before that fish is in any kind of great water. I mean, yes,
I think it depends sometimes, because some dealers actually, when they do take them out and they're in their facilities, I mean, I've been to some dealers where it's basically like Yoshino, for instance. If you go to the wooden koi house he's got, Crafty, he's got all of his koi in one pond, and it looks really over full and probably not that comfortable for him for growth and all that kind of stuff. But then other koi farms like Odakan's got quite a lot of space to let the koi actually flourish through those times, haven't they? So it's not. I don't think it's every dealer, every farm, but
Shinoda's the same as well. He's got a lot of space.
Ogata,
a lot of space. Yeah.
Ogata with his new fish house now. In fact, I mean, arguably, he's trying to actually grow more and more in concrete ponds now, because it's a lot safer,
of course,
and a lot more reliable for him, because he can control everything down to, he can actually see how they're growing, alter the feed. Whereas obviously if they're in the mud pond, you can only really get to see them so much, can't you? So
why not bring them back to why keep them as a Azakari? Why not, if they're going to be in a concrete pond, and if you're anywhere near half decent as a koi hobbyist, why not just fetch them straight back? Why bother with Azakari? Just fetch them back into the UK and have them in your own home pond. It's the big thing. The big thing with Azakari is, does it go into a mud pond, and is that some kind of magically an amazing thing to put a koi into when it flourishes the living?
I mean, that is a great debate, Paul, because I mean, I've seen some absolutely outstanding fish in concrete ponds grown on by Ueno, by Ogata. And when they're put in the bowl, the growth has been the same as in the mud pond,
isn't it?
Yeah. And so that's nice, very nice.
I didn't mean to do that. It automatically done it. I'm downloading as we speak. So
yeah, that would be interesting to have a controlled experiment with, the same peers being grown outside and inside. It would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, when you see what Ueno is, how he grows his koi, it's just quite incredible, and the condition they're in is just unbelievable. And he gets the bodies on them as well.
I think having your koi in the mud ponds and stuff like that obviously is quite romantic, and everyone thinks that all the vitamins and the minerals from the clays and the mountain water and all. But there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk with that, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive risk. I mean, not last year or the year, was it last year? Ogata lost 300 Nisai out of a mud pond. 300 Nisai in a mud pond because of the torrential rain. The mud pond overflowed, and obviously they went with him. He's now installed a big grill system there to make sure it doesn't happen again. But I think this is why you're hearing more and more of the breeders, when koi of a certain value now, they're tending to
bring them indoors.
Yeah.
Yamamatsu was the same. He lost a pond of fish last year. Last year, something went wrong with the hole because of the lack of water, I believe.
And I think about 9 years again, Okara again, he lost 200 odd Nisai in a mud pond.
Yeah. So
During
it
the
is
rain.
a massive risk. It's a massive risk, and I'm this side of the fence. You've got to weigh it up, and you've got to say, right, is it not better if you've got the facility at home, is it not better just to bring them back?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will look at it. I've got away with it this year. Let me take my winnings and run. I guess that's how they could look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite exciting to go to Japan. Let's just say buy an amazing Tozai for Azakari. That comes out, it's incredible. The dealer's the breeder's happy with it to do it again because it's one of his top. Puts it in, comes out again, 65 cm or 60 cm as a Nisai, and then you're like, wow, that's going to do really well in the koi shows back home. And then shall I put it in as a Kari again? So when it comes back to the UK, you've got something 70, 75 cm to burst onto the koi scene. I mean, that is the dream, really, isn't it? And then go from there. It'd be quite cool.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, if you're buying quite a serious level Tosai, I think the only place to leave that, if it's of a certain level and quality, is with the breeder and let them do that Tosai to Nisai job.
I'm not too sure,
Yeah.
One of the guys that I go to Japan with is Stuart here. Now, I've cleared it with him. I spoke to him yesterday, and I knew I'd mention his name. Now, Stuart did a thing where we bought fish from Takigawa, and Stuart beat Takigawa. His ability to grow fish. Now, Stuart, I believe, is very, very good at it. But it can be done if you've got the right facility, if you've got the right understanding of koi. Then there's no reason why you can't achieve amazing results.
I totally agree.
100%, yeah.
And Stuart's proved it with many a fish.
Yeah, I totally agree. But most people haven't got that. I mean, that's the problem. I look at it like this, Paul. If there was a skill in the country that was overridingly good at growing big koi, where are they all?
Yeah.
Because we don't see, for years and years and years. I said it the other week on the podcast, people I want a female koi because it's 85, 90 cm. You don't want to be buying males and yet all these females that have come in their thousands in the last sort of 10, 15 years, whatever. You go to a koi show and you see 5.
Yeah.
So, which makes me...
Paul will disagree with everything you've just said there, Dave. Won't you, Paul?
Yeah.
What about buying females?
Yep.
Yeah, I do. And every fish I go to, one of the big things is getting it to be Is it female?
And
then
I respect
get
people for that because
However, I'll disagree with Anthony slightly, because if I had a time machine and I could go back 20 years to when I first
you'd have all males.
yeah, would I not?
Yeah. I prefer
Yeah, all
males.
males.
Honestly, I really do.
No, I do.
And here's
I'd have
another
all
one
males.
for you.
I'd have all males, and I'd have a massive big Bentley out the front of the house there. That would
Yeah. Honestly, I really love male fish.
I
I
do.
genuinely, I mean, I've got, do you know what, right? When I buy a lovely tozai in Japan, and it comes out of the mud pond as a nisai, and it's built like a pit bull, and then they flip over, and then they go, bloody hell, that's unusual. It's a male. I'm like that. Zang. Perfect.
Yeah.
I want a male that looks like a female. It can't get any better for me.
But be honest though, do you when you're picking a fish, not you Paul, because I know what you like, all right? But when you're picking a fish, right, you're picking it on the qualities, not the sex. Or the
Exactly.
gender.
100%.
Yeah, the
Right.
first thing that
Especially
gets you is
as
what you're
opposed-
looking at.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's everything in life. To be honest, for me, the perfect partner would be Pete Burns. You know, looks like a woman, never gonna have a bad day or anything like that. Great. But here's one for you, Paul. Quick one. So obviously you're saying, all of this stuff about bring the fish back and grown them. Why have you got 6 fish in Japan then?
Yeah, fall into the trap. The romance of having them as a curry. It is romantic. Yeah. I believe that they do a better job. I think they can. I think putting fish into a mud pond does zing them along. I mean, I've got loads of photographs where I'm showing Yoshino, who you've mentioned. I've got a show there now. It's in my eyes stunning. It's stunning.
He's awesome. I love Yoshino.
And a picture of it when I first bought it. Oh, would you give it house room? I mean, the two of us, me and Yoshino, and I don't speak any Japanese, and I don't think he speaks much English. But we both looked at this fish in the boat, and we both wondered what the bloody hell this show is going to do. It was up in the air as to what it would do. I took a gamble on it. Price was right. Took a gamble on it, and it's an amazing fish. And you've got to back, and that's another thing that coming into. You've got to back the breeders that go to the breeders that you really, really have confidence in, and that's crucial to it. Crucial. So he's going to be a superstar, that Yoshino, in the future.
You rate Yoshino fish. I'm not saying I don't or I do, right? But I'll keep my opinion separate.
Yeah.
You rate Yoshino fish. Why?
I think he's got Dainichi bloodline in it, and I think the kid knows what he's doing. So he's younger than me, so I can call him that. And the fish, when you look at them, you walk into that, and apparently I've only walked into the poor man's koi place. The one with the four. You've got ponds left and right, 2 of them, and at the far end there's one other one. So that's the koi house I've been into with Yoshino, and every time we've gone in there, and that's not just me, that's me, Stuart, Matt, who came out last year, we're all like, wow, these are really, really good fish. Really good.
But he does have his parents. He does have some of his parents' stock in there, and in the ponds on the right hand side, Paul. Yeah. He'll keep some of his males there.
Yeah.
Most of his nice stuff is up in the. It's about 500-600 meters away up on the road. It's like a really beautiful looking timber framed one, isn't it?
Is that the younger stuff for this Nissan?
It's the younger stuff, and also I think he's got a big pond in the back, which I think is his Azakari fish, which are pretty good.
So first year I was there, we went over to that fish house, and I started to do a little bit of filming. I had to delete the video. It was like no YouTube, no Facebook, no nothing.
Yeah. I think last time I was there, Odekan was looking for some parent koi. Yeah. And he goes, no filming. I said, yeah, no problem. I took some stills, do you know what I mean, for myself, but like no filming or anything like that.
He's when you're going into a place and they don't let you share what's in there, there's some quite special stuff. And they keep them out the way of all the other Japanese. And also some of the show stuff that they want to start producing. They keep it out the way, all secret.
But do you know what? Right, last time I was there was Odakan, Atsushi, Ryan, and myself there, and we went there, and Odakan obviously was chugging on his vape, like, you know, with his Montclair top on, intensely looking into the pond, looking for what he's looking for, and obviously he does know what he's looking for because probably millions of fish have passed before that man's eyes. And Yoshino, the reason I would say I think Yoshino is amazing because he's got so much passion for what he does. I mean, relatively a new breeder, right? All Danichi blood, well, not all probably, but a lot of Danichi bloodline. So you're getting all that bloodline, but from a smaller little unit, and it a bit more time and effort and care. And I mean, Yoshino and his missus, they're two lovely people. I mean, she's rubbish at driving K trucks because she's crashed it, but they're amazing people. And the passion he's got, when we were in that back room looking for one of the Orogoi for Odakan, I mean, Yoshino is just like, you know, watching and just picking up all these fish and showing all of us, like, you know, so proud of what he's achieved. And mate, you can just see it. He just glows with it, like, do you know what I mean? There's like pink wellies on, loving life, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, it's just him and his missus as well, Leo.
Yeah, they graft. I think he's got a staff now. I think he's got one staff. I'm sure he has. Younger fella that probably does the filter changes. But I mean, yeah, he grafts. Good lad. I really like them. And the fish are amazing. I mean, listen, I've got 34 of them coming over on the 28th. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I really can.
They are quality fishes.
I know.
I picked up a fish from you, Crafty, last year, wasn't it? And there's documented
video
pictures of them.
Yeah.
And they weren't expensive. They were not expensive. Sure, that anybody could have bought them up. And they all ended up, within a year, I had them up to 48 cm. You know, they were, and had the bodies to go with it as well. They were bodies. That's when you ask me why, it's his body structure that he produces that I really like. You know, there's other breeders on there you could look at and go, lack on that. And I don't think any of you should fish that. Lack on the body department.
Right, let's bring the audience in a little bit. So Rachel. So Rachel was in today with a fella emptying me ponds out. She took one of, in fact, Lee, you would have seen it, the Yamaguchi mud pond fish. She took.
Yeah.
Lucky, mate. I didn't want to time it, to be fair, but yeah. For a trip to Japan as a hobbyist, how much on average would you say it costs you, not including individual fish prices? And I think we'll push that over to you, Paul, as somebody that goes.
Right, dead easy. I use a Monzo card, and it's really good because it tells you exactly how much you're spending. I put £1,000 on that Monzo card, and it's about 900 and odd quid I spend to go, and it's from the day I leave and I arrive back in the UK about nine or 10 days later. So that, let's say I'm there a week, I'll spend about 900 quid, and that's all my meals, all the travel, all of the hotels.
Not your flight though. That's not including your flight.
Flight's different. Flights are different. So the flights, the cheapest ones I've ever seen have been Air China, which was about 500 quid. But I would go in the most expensive one I think we did was about 1,200 quid. And that got me out.
For 1,200 quid, you could probably get a direct flight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. Yeah, we've done it a few different ways. We've gone from Heathrow, flown from Newcastle down to Heathrow and then out. I've flown to Charles de Gaulle and then gone out. I've gone from Birmingham, Charles de Gaulle and out. And then we've gone to Manchester via Dubai and gone in that way. I like the Emirates one was good because you got a little stretch of your legs halfway through. That was good. And we were on one of those double deckers, and we were on the lower bit of the double decker. We had a lot more leg room. That was a better flight.
When we went in
January,
January,
don't need to worry about that. It's
I'm
3 foot tall.
I mean, our flight in January, but that's 3 flights because we go from Norwich, Schiphol, Narita. Then we have to bus it round to Haneda to Fukuoka. It was about 1,400 quid just for the return flight.
The hotels
Yeah, I
and things
mean-
are really cheap, aren't they? I mean, they're only about
Yeah,
40,
and
40
I
or
mean-
50.
5,000,
yeah.
6,000 yen we pay where we stay in Kurumi.
It's about so the flight's return is about 1,200 quid, I would say, £1,000 to 1,200 quid.
Yeah.
And then when you're over there, if you get into the new Atari, that's about £40-50 a night, isn't it? And listen, if you don't want to spend more than a tenner, you don't have to. You just go to the 7-Eleven 3 times a day. It is what you want. If you want to go and eat Wagyu, you can. If you don't, you don't. I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money over there. But it's a really cheap country, I think.
Yeah.
Very cheap. I mean, travel out. You have to, like, from going from your doorstep to the hotel, you've got your travel to the airport, you've got your airport, like your flight, you've then got your taxi or your train fare, depending on what you do to get to the bullet train. This is to go to North. Then you've got your bullet train. I always get first class bullet because after being cooped upon that bloody aeroplane for 12 or 13 hours, it's really quite nice just to have a bit of comfort.
Do you bring up that Crafty, or do you purchase that when you get into, is it Shinagawa?
Yeah, you can purchase that
at the station.
Yeah.
You get the green ticket, so you basically you sort of like you book your seat, so you get on there and you guaranteed seat.
Guaranteed a seat, yeah.
You know, so all in all, if you put about 2K to the side as a ballpark figure, you're not going to be far from hang on for the whole travel, not even including your food, just the travel. I personally would probably put 2K. However, there are companies out there that will take you out, wine and dine you, hotel you, travel you for a set fee. All right, but what I would say is do your homework, make sure that you're getting good value for money. That's what I would say.
Well, yeah, but I've never organised it. I've never ever organised it. I've gone to the dealers. Have always sorted out the hotel when so
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, that's the same.
And then the dealers sort all that out. And you're gonna have to have a dealer. You can't go there. Well, in my opinion, you can't go out there by yourself and expect to get a koi back in the UK. You have to have a dealer.
Yeah.
You've got to. There's no way of purchasing a koi out there without an agent to set you up, go into the fish houses and purchasing, because all the paperwork has to go through them, because it's all controlled by the government. And a lot of people don't realise.
I doubt if you could even. I've had people ask me in the past, if I go to Japan, can I just wander onto a farm? I said, nope.
No, you probably get turned away.
You'll probably get turned away if they were there anyway, because a lot of the time, as you know, they can be elsewhere and there's nobody there. But they certainly wouldn't just let you turn up without an appointment or anything, or without an agent. Or
I think if they come back to a koi house and a stranger was in there, I can imagine a total stranger being in Otsuka's koi house and him coming back, he'd be not very happy.
He would be vexed.
Yeah, he'd be really pissed.
Can you imagine Otsuka?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you said, Otsuka.
Oh,
then,
you said Odokan, sorry.
Otsuka or Odokan, Otsuka would literally skin you.
Yeah. He reminds me of what a World War II sort of Japanese soldier would be like, mate.
Honestly, mate,
100%. In my head as I see it.
Paul, where's your best result as a Kari? What's that been? Your best?
Best fish to come back, probably. There's a picture that Crafty's got it. It's just come back. It's Sakai Company. Yeah,
Sakai Company. Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring that up. So
it's a kahaku with a very, very sparse pattern.
Flowery pattern, mate.
But it's come back.
Let me bring the right one up first, because. So
I'm really looking forward to this Yoshino.
Oh, mate, it's a picture, isn't it? Is it a picture?
Yeah. What do you want?
Right, that's right. I have to do it a different way. I thought it was on a video, mate. Bear with me, guys. But your Sakai Kokahaku.
There's a couple I've sent you. I've sent you some where you've got right the top end of it, and the other one, there's the last two that I've sent across. A Showa from Ueno and a Santi from Takigawa. And I'm not going to prices, but they were really reasonable as 2-year-olds, and they're back in the UK, and it shows that by going to Japan, you can buy relatively inexpensively and have a great result of a koi when you've got it back. But you've got to be patient. You've got to wait that. They're a couple of years. They'll be 4-year-old, these fish now. But I'll leave that technology to you, Crafty, because
Do you know what? I can remember the first 2 years I bought Azakari fish for Japan. They came out absolutely amazing, mate, unbelievable. Like just about 3 or 4 results on dialed in, bang on, right?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh man, this Azakari stuff is
easy.
And then the third year, I went over there. I thought I'm going to go over there now and harvest my own Azakari. Nah, it's not in there, Lee Sands. Gone. I said, oh no. But 2 or 3 of them not come out. And I was like, oh right, okay. So it is a risk, guys. It's a true risk, you know.
This fish, when I bought it, see that little red dot that's on the side there, that one scale. And my first comment when I brought it out the pond, got it in a bowl, and it's Sakai Company. It's a young lad that runs it now, but his dad was there. This old boy was there, and there was bit of interpretation going on, and I mentioned with that one dot there, I went, the UK judges will hate that. That's the one thing they'll pick up on. That won't be classed as pattern. They'll have me for that. And then this old Japanese guy got the interpretation when it came back to me that I knew nothing what I was talking about. I was stupid, and how could I not see that one dot balanced the whole of that fish up as a pattern, and without it, the fish is way less. The skin quality on that superb on that fish when it came back to the UK.
So this was in 2022, Paul.
Yeah.
All right. Measured in at 57 cm.
About 57.
Did you buy it at this size, or
Yes.
did you buy it Tozai and then this was?
No. What is in knee size? And all because this old guy who's, I believe, the uncle of the guy from Sakai Company, and then Sakai Fish Farm. Then he and I thought, no, I'm going to buy this fish, and I bought it, and then it stayed in Japan longer than I wanted it to, but it stayed in Japan, and then it's come across in this year, thanks to Ryan Studdart's intervention. He was the one that got it back from. And that fish now is 82 cm. 82.
Wow.
Yeah, 82 when it came back.
And what's that? Is that 4 now, Paul? Did you say?
It was, so with this fish it'll be 5.
5. Right,
years.
okay. Yonzo. Yeah.
Obviously female, I take it.
Yeah. Bounty.
Yeah, good skin.
Yeah, she's great skin she has.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. But it's the pattern. And it's that, I'll probably show that at the Great British. I'm thinking that's where she'll go to the Great British. It is.
So you eventually got this koi back, Paul, didn't you? And that was this year.
Yeah.
What did it measure in at after it had been over there floating around for a while?
82. It's now 82. That fish came into the UK and we measured it, and it was 82 cm. So it's gone from 57 to 82.
It's great. It's great bringing them in at that price, isn't it? The cost of shipping at that.
Yeah. God, there's a bloody thought. God, that was yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so
was.
Not the best image to complement that one, to be fair, Paul.
No,
but I think we can agree that the skin quality is absolutely insanely good.
Insane.
The Benny is very, very good.
Yeah. You can see from that very underdeveloped in skin quality. The Benny a little bit. I don't know. The picture may not be doing it too much justice because it's
a rubbish picture.
Yeah, I think it's a picture, isn't it?
It's a rubbish picture.
Taken on a Kodak point and shoot.
It was me. I've edited that. I've got that. Somebody sent me a phone picture, and I've took a picture of it on the phone and then edited it down, so I've got all the rubbish out. And then it was the only one that I had from that age. The only one I could find this afternoon.
Let's not, let's point out to the audience, because at the end of the day, they need to have an understanding of what we're looking at. So the Shiroji in this picture, although the picture may not do it justice, the Shiroji is white, right? Fairly pale, not a lot of bling going on to it is the best way of putting it. The red, the he in the fish, the plate. The Benny plate is what we refer to when we're looking at the colour in the fish from the nose all the way through to the tail. Anywhere there's red on that fish, what we're trying to do is achieve, or the koi should be trying to do, is achieve the same colour from the head all the way through the body. And that's really quite difficult to achieve because the pattern on a head is skin to bone, and on the back of the, like from the shoulders all the way at the tip of the tail, it's flesh. So that colour can change from head into flesh. So when you get a Benny pattern that is really good all the way through, and this Benny colour, the red colour, you can see is fairly consistent all the way through. So that's what we're looking for in a quality. However, there are some blemishes in that pattern. And again, when you're buying fish, you've got to understand, a little bit like us, as kids we look cute, then when we turn teenagers, start getting spots, and then we turn mid-20s to 30s. I was a warrior, I know Lee was a warrior, and that's when we looked our best. That's what you've got to remember, that the koi will also develop like that. So when you then see it turn this way, you can see the white skin is a lot really improved. The red is very, very deep as well. And when we look into what Alan Tate has just brought up, so those people that don't know, Alan Tate is the chair of the koi judges in the UK, Kajunko or something. I can't get my head around that. I mean, it's pattern is good due to the refinement of the Kiwa and the Sashi. So, Lee, do you want to have a stab at defining Kiwa and Sashi for the audience, mate?
Right. So the Kiwa is basically the end of the scale. So if we're talking about the dans, let's just talk about the third dan on that fish. The Kiwa is basically where the red scale overlaps the white scale. The Sashi is the start of that, where the white scale is overlapping the red scale, basically. There's different forms, and obviously the different depths of the Benny will be different, and through the course of the life of the fish, etc. I think that's something that's like a whole hour talk,
absolutely,
let alone anything else. But basically, the Sashi and the Kiwa is either the white scale overlapping the red or the black. It could be the black if it's a shower, and obviously the white over the red as well.
So, Dave, are you happy to give a little bit more technical on it at all?
What, on the Sashi or the Kiwa?
Both, or one. You choose one. I'll take the other. I don't mind.
Well, I mean, Kiwa. There's always that great debate, isn't there? I quite like the Kiwa that goes round the edge of the scale.
Marizumi, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Some still prefer it when it's just straight across. I personally think that somewhat deflects from the pattern, but this has got it superb on the... I mean, how many dans would you say? Is that head pattern connected there, or is there a gap?
No, it's two, isn't it? I would give benefit that it's two.
Yeah, so on the third dan there, if you like, if you go for the third spot of Benny there, you can see it. It's the back is just
been around.
Yeah, it's just great. And what I do also like is, which is so difficult towards the back end of the koi to get the Sashi that good as well.
Yeah,
really, really difficult.
The Kiwa on the last dan by the Odame is. Yeah. The one that you like is where it's cut straight, where it's not scalloping around the scale.
It's so difficult to get, because it's the thing that annoys me most on Kahakus is when you see the Sashi is so untidy towards the back end of the fish, and you just know sometimes that's not going to improve as that gets much older. But that has really, really got nice, really, really nice. Yeah.
And getting back to the topic of going to Japan to buy fish. You know, I spend money on koi, yes, but I wouldn't be able to afford that. I would not be able to afford that fish.
To buy it now?
No.
Yeah, no.
No chance.
No.
Not a cat and mouse chance. In
Well, this is why the allure of Azakari is so popular, Paul. In fairness, I mean, I've got a customer who left a Shiro. Well, I bought a Shiro at Tosai. I left it for 1 year as Nisai. Then he bought it. He left it a further year out there, and it came, I think, I forget what size it was now. And I said to him, if you went to actually buy that on that farm now, 7-8 grand wouldn't buy it. Even 10 grand might not buy that fish now. So, and he paid considerably less than that. So this is why I think the allure of doing Azakari is really good for a lot of people. But you have to be very open-minded to know that it goes right and it goes wrong. And I've had some fabulous success, and I've had a few losses as well along the road. But that's Azakari koi for you.
Yeah. So that's at one end of the scale, Anthony. There's another couple of pictures that I put on, which are a Sankey and a Shua at the very end. The last ones I sent you through. There's a great one with a guy.
Takigawa and the Ueno, yeah?
Yeah. So,
right,
so
okay.
yeah.
I will just pull these up.
This is more to do with the budgets that people have. You don't have to go to Japan with some massive budget in your pocket to be able to buy fish and bring them back. So this shows you Ueno.
It's going to be fairly blocky, Paul, because your images have been sent like this rather than that way. So, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. We just got to look at it. So this thing's it's going to be in the region of 75, 78 cm. And it's a great show. And it was bought at probably a tenth of the cost of the other one. Right? Yeah. Really affordable. This was really affordable when I bought it from Ueno. Really affordable. And it's the kind of fish that you can have back in the UK.
Very nice koi.
Yeah, it's lovely, and it looks really impressive as a show. This picture doesn't do it justice. It looks really, really impressive, and I might even show that koi.
And then we got the Sankey as well. I haven't been able to proof these, so I don't know if we're going to work it. There we go.
Similar size. This one was delayed. It stayed in Japan against my wishes. So I'm building up body on this fish. It's been starved for ages. But this again into the 70 cm size, and the sumi on that is really, really nice. Really nice.
Where's that from, Paul?
Takigawa.
Takigawa.
Yeah, Takigawa. And this is before, apparently, since this bloodline, I believe that he's had a whole new set of parent fish come in. So this is the older stuff.
What year did you get this one, Paul?
It would be bought in 2023.
And it's still out there now?
No, it's back in the UK. This is in my pond now, this fish.
Right, so this was the video when you purchased it, I'm assuming?
No, this is the video. I've took this video this afternoon, and what I did was I went, what fish did I buy that were at a more budget end of things? Not looking at really stunningly, budget end. So you've got a set budget. You're going out to Japan. What can you hope to get when you come back? And this fish is coming in at about 79 cm. Really 70, maybe about 78, something like that. Really.
In my experience, I think you can get some really nice koi to stay there as Azakari and have great results to come back as Nisai. Look at the fish that you had, Crafty. I mean,
I'm going to bring that up in a while, mate.
All right, okay.
But yeah, no, say about it, mate. I'll bring it up.
Yeah, but it's like I was over there for harvest last year. Crafty unfortunately couldn't make it, and we went to Yamaguchi's, and man, when I seen Anthony's mud pond fish come out, how many was there, Anthony? 8, 10? 11. Mate, honestly, I was even Yamaguchi was like, he was happy, obviously, but those mud pond fish that Crafty had went into his number 2 mud pond, basically, where he has normally the second best results. his best Tatigoi stuff goes into his number 1 mud pond. But because it was really hot last year with not that much rain, his number 1 mud pond didn't perform very good at all. And the number 2 mud pond actually performed super, super well. So Crafty was really quids in when these fish come out, and they were absolutely mind-blowing, weren't they, Crafty?
I'm gonna bring it up on screen now so people
And
can
those
see it.
fish wasn't you selling them for like 800 quid or something like that? Was that?
I'm about to tell people.
Yeah,
So,
look at that. Shit the bed. Come on. That is outrageous. I seen that in real life and it was mind-blowing.
so this fish was chosen as Tozai just for mud pond fish, staying as a Azakari, and I had it up at £895 as a Tozai. This was valued at £7,000 when it returned.
Mm.
However, Yamaguchi kept this fish.
Again, sorry, Crafty, sorry.
And this is one of 3 that he kept actually. 2 of which are being kept for parent fish because they turned out so well. I'm going to bring up onto the screen now. In fact, I offered this to Paul and he turned it down. Just rubbing the salt in the wound there, mate. I'll just bring this one up now. I think if I can find it, bear with me.
Stunning, isn't
I'm
they?
having to do this as we go along.
Is this the Sankey?
No, this is the Kahaku, mate. And I'm sure
so for that kind of money, if you're going over there with a dealer, this is the kind of thing that you can find as well. Just by tagging along, you can get offered these fish as a punter at Pondside for Azakari for that kind of price, isn't it, Crafty?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I offered these out at cost, and nobody knew what I was doing. But I wanted people to actually, I offered them out at cost because I just knew that people wouldn't put the money that I put behind them and take the risk. And only one fish sold, and that sold to somebody that's in the comments tonight, actually. And he actually bought it a day before they was harvested. If he hadn't bought it when he did, none of them would have sold. And every one of these fish now have been priced at 2,800 quid for the ones that have come out. And I'm going to show you what they look like because this is the risk I took. Let me just bring this one up on screen now and you'll see exactly what I mean. That was the Tozai to this fish. And a lot of Benny has filled in on it. And Yamaguchi actually didn't recognize this fish when he brought it in. It was actually Seabay that found this, Lee, wasn't it?
I can't remember, mate, to be honest. But if anyone, yeah, it would have been him.
You can see what most people would have thought. They weren't comfortable with the on the shoulder,
head.
on
Yeah,
the just behind the head. They'd have said, "Is that going to break down, or is that going to have just a little white area stay there?" But just shows you, doesn't it, how the patterns crept together and just refined. Yeah,
You know,
That's a stunning Tozai. That would be on my radar all day long. That Tozai is exactly what I'd look for. Gorgeous.
But this is the risk, isn't it? I mean, I put the company money. You know, I took the risk. There was no guarantees on any of these. So
how much were they? How much were they?
895. This one as a Tozai.
Yeah.
Right, and this was valued at about £7,000 when it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see why. Just look at the body shape.
Yeah.
One reason I let Yamaguchi keep this was simply because I just haven't got the customer base for a £7,000 Nisai.
Yeah, so you're best to let him.
And then we struck another deal. I have got more fish over there this year, which was actually a trade-off for the couple of fish that he kept. But that's the sort of gamble that you have to take. And now I'm no fool. 800, 900 quid is a lot of money. all right? But it's what we have to pay as a dealer,
Yeah.
as well. And there's no guarantees. If that died, my boss would have killed me if he knew this. I didn't tell him, so if he's watching, I'm sorry, but you know, it ended up being quids in for us. But ultimately, I see the potential in these fish, and I was like, yeah, we'll do it at that price. And I had to buy 10 in order to get access to his mud pond. That was the deal. So now you guys see how much money I put behind it. When I actually put them up for cost, and only one person bought it, Steve Knight is probably in the comments. That's how much they were. He is watching, and that's why P45 come in. As a Kari, is risk versus reward every single time.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Don't get me wrong. I've got fish that come back from another breeder. I'm not going to say his name because I think it's unfair, because it is a risk. Tiny little bit of Benny that is just not going anywhere. Body, size, everything else absolutely stunning as expected. But then there's the failure in the Benny pattern. It just totally reduces the price of that fish. And as a dealer, an extremely hard sale. Extremely hard, because people won't buy them because of it.
It's like crafty. I had I bought quite a few quite nice Tosai Ginrin Showa. So I left, I think 2-3 there, and they all did well to Nisai. So I decided, on the advice of the breeder, to leave again. So I did. Two went great. One, the Benny just fell off in its third year. And basically he said, "Do you want a ship?" I said, "Nope, just do what you want to do. Whatever you do, sell it to whoever." But the Benny had just fallen right the way off in its third year. So should I have brought it back as Nisai? Would it have done anything differently? Possibly not.
But there's always trials and tribulations, isn't it? And this fish, Paul, do you remember this one?
Yeah, that was a gamble, wasn't it?
That was a gamble. What did? I mean, I don't mind you telling the people what the terms and conditions were on this. Let's see if I can bring us down there so you can see it. Can you remember what we agreed on this?
No, I'm not going to remember it either. Yeah, I can remember. I know exactly how much you did.
He put a caveat in place that the money that we exchanged, he was like, "I want to guarantee female," and I was like, "Can't guarantee the female," and we couldn't. But again, I put my neck on the line and said, "If it comes back and it's male, I will refund you the money." Did I not, Paul?
Yeah. And
it come back female. Again, the boss is watching and now is realising the sort of deals that I do in the background that you don't know about.
I should have really gotten that one out today and had a look and took a video of it. But the sumi on that, this is Yoshino again. The sumi on that is far, far deeper than what it is.
There you go, Paul. I've already done it for you, mate.
Nice.
It's deeper than that as well, man.
Paul, what's your percentage of success over failure, do you think?
Like real success, something that's going to do really well at the shows.
Yeah.
10%.
But obviously that's only because you bought. I mean, that's probably really the wrong question.
That's the reason. Right. That's the reason why I showed you the other two fish, the Sankey and the Showa.
Yeah,
so they're a success. They're a blazing success.
Yeah.
But will I be able to take them to either the North of England Koi Show, which is on the 8th and 9th of August,
What's that?
or will I be able to take it to the Great British? And I probably won't be able to do that with that Sankey. And maybe the Sankey might get it,
Say no.
but the Show possibly won't. So to get a fish up to the level where you're going to take it up to a show and hope to do well with it,
yeah,
that's probably about 10%, I would think.
Yeah,
I'm just just off the top of my head. But for good, great fish in the pond, I mean, God, you come up in my place, and I am so lucky to have these fish, and I do recognise that.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
recognise it.
yeah. I mean, there's a big difference, Paul, for somebody like you who wants to end up showing, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know,
Massive.
because your
Massive.
criteria is, you know, is massively different to anybody who just wants to go out there, pick a, you know, a very nice koi,
Oh, yeah.
and bring it back and enjoy. You're looking for sort of something of a different level to hopefully, obviously, show. So
Yeah, it's a different. It's what
It's a
I do is different. Well, is it to the vast majority of people who go out there? I don't know. But anybody who's wanting to go out and experience Japan, I would thoroughly recommend that you do it.
Ironically, if you do, guys, you could have a little read of that. First in koi reconnaissance. That's a good little T-shirt I've got on for the day, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's got to be 3 years old, leader.
It must be, yeah. I haven't had anyone come to Japan with me yet. I think they're too scared of the karaoke bars.
but
It's not that, mate. It's the howler monkey.
but this
I
Oh.
won't be showing that. Don't worry.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
I think there's some key things from my side of the fence, not from you. I think you've got to pick your dealer. I think you've got to go with a dealer who's going to get you in front of the fish, the kind of fish that you want to purchase ultimately. So you've got to know that before you go out there and source a dealer who's going to do that for you. I also think that you've got to try and pick or go with a group of people who are going to give you the right kind of advice. Because we all get a fish and we all go, well, should I pay that amount of money for it? If you've got people around you who you trust, then you can at least have a second opinion on it. And then the other one is try and pick fish where the dealer is going to, and I think this is really important. It's the kind of fish that the dealer will have in his shop as stock. So if you go the first day and you see a fish that you want to buy, and you go, God, I really want that fish. However, 6 days later you see one that's better than that. At least if that first fish is something that the dealer is prepared to put in his premises and sell on, then you can change your mind and you can have the better fish for you. It might be more expensive, but at least you come away from Japan with the fish that you want. And that's something that I've talked to every dealer I've gone out with to make sure that there's that little bit of flexibility so that I'm not hemmed in with the very first fish I see.
And that's actually quite sound advice, mate, because I do know that sometimes people will buy a koi when they're out in Japan, see something that they like elsewhere, end up buying that or agreeing the sale, then they see another koi and then another koi and they buy them, and then the dealer has already committed to the sale. They expect that transfer of funds to happen, right, as and when they choose to. And quite often, I've heard it more than once where people have overspent because they're in the moment when they're in Japan, because it is like kids in a sweet store, right? And then they then bounce the dealer for them purchases.
Yeah.
That is
not. Jesus, you're not going to go out again, are you? If you do that, if you do that with a dealer,
I mean,
you're going to be
you can't go back on a purchase from a dealer. From a breeder. I mean, a dealer would not let that breeder down. So that dealer then will have to make that purchase out of his own money. And if it's an expensive koi, then that might be sort of sitting around for a little bit. So, I mean, if you go over there and you want to buy a fish and you commit to it, you've got to, that's it. Yeah. Like if you see a better fish, I mean, it's difficult.
There's a response. Well, yeah, but if you have that conversation, you can have that conversation with dealers. I've done it with I'll not name the dealers, but we've gone and looked at it. But is this something that if we look at it in the future, is there flexibility so that I can choose something else? And I mean, I'll name the dealers.
Oh yeah, if that's the deal. That's the deal. That's fine.
And as long as that dealer knows,
happy with that,
yes.
I mean, and also it's window shopping. I can remember going over there. I mean, I've never gone over there with massive money to spend on koi. I mean, all my. I mean, I have bought koi over there, obviously. Do you know what I mean? I think I might have spent about about maybe 6 or 8 grand on one trip by accident. It does all add up at the end. And what I'm buying Pondside, obviously, and when all the fees and the shipping's put on, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's gone up. But then that was a good learning curve. I mean, but I mean, sometimes you'll shop. I mean, Otsuka is a great one. You see him coming in with all his Tozai, all his mud pond fish, and he's got that central pond, doesn't he, in his main facility where he puts all the Nagata auction stuff or his top bits of kit, And I've seen a couple of really nice Tozai in there that I wanted for the show scene back in the UK, and thought about it, and then I can remember a couple of years ago thinking to myself, yeah, I'm going to have that. I'm going to have that little shower. I've gone in there and he's got, no, Narita's had it. I'm like, fuck. I knew it was good. And he's just come up and mopped it. And I thought, oh, shit. I mean, but expensive, some of the Tozai over there. I mean, you've got to be sure. And there's always a better koi. It's mental.
Yeah.
Isn't there? There's always a better koi. Does it make a difference which one you pick and you think, yeah, I've settled on that one? The next day you'll find something else.
It's worse as a dealer.
Oh, mate, I can imagine.
Like, when you purchase up 3 boxes of fish because you think, yeah, I'm quids in here, and then the next day you go somewhere else and they're half the price and twice the quality. But too late. You've had your quota, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
But my God, is that frustrating? And it's got to be the same as a hobbyist, I mean, Dave's just posted this one in. So this one, Dave. Give us a little bit of a back, because that is stunning, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, purchased as a Tozai, unsexed, left out there. That is now 3 years old, 69 or something like that, male.
Where's out there, Dave? What breeder, mate?
Oh, sorry, Okawa.
Okawa.
Yeah.
Not many people see his fish over here, though, mate, do they? They're generally Shiro. Don't see many.
Mostly Shiro, yeah.
Well, I mean, he does produce nice Sankey and Kohaku. It's just not in, obviously, the numbers that some of the other breeders breed them in, because they are a small farm in comparison to some of them. So they've only got so many parent sets. But yeah, I mean, they do breed some nice Go Sankey, and he's now doing Showa as well, and they're coming on leaps and bounds now. So that's going to be an interesting journey in the next few years. That will be. But
okay,
yeah, I'm never going to go there and get.
This is a great comment from Coley Coy. Now, I don't know if it's this one or a previous video. I'm assuming it's this, right? But I don't see a little shimmy on the fin.
No, sometimes you can get that appearance. Have you ever seen that when you're looking and you think, oh, there's a little, but it's actually a scale. It's deflecting the light.
I can't see.
It might be on the, is it on the dorsal? Is that where he's saying on the dorsal?
Well, point out, mate, if it's this one, Coley, for us, because I'm gonna give a little bit of education on it. So
yeah, it's not actually the best video either. That was taken by the breeder on his phone. So
to be fair, Dave, on this, mate, StreamYard, they downscale the quality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've got no control over that. So this is the best that anyone can do. So it's what it is. But male,
I shipped that this year, this February. I brought that back home for the customer, and it looked absolutely outstanding. Yeah,
so
on the dorsal. Yeah, it might work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a bit of education. This in a show pond, right? If it's conditioned up, ready to be shown, and that's something that we're going to do a little. We're going to do something on that between us.
Make no difference whatsoever.
You're looking at the most minute imperfection, and you're missing all of the other qualities because of that. The smallest little imperfection are not deal breakers.
It looks like a little pinhole through the fin, to be honest. Not a shit.
I see it now. I'll just see it's halfway down the door.
That's it.
And again, you've got to learn to appreciate rather. And Alan Tater loved this. You learn to appreciate rather than assassinate. for all of the qualities in that fish. One little shimmy in a dorsal fin, if that's a deal breaker, then you're losing out on a lot of bloody good fish.
It's quite strange. It's quite strange, really, how that comment was about that, and not first of all, wow, what a pattern, or
absolutely
what a body. So
we have gone from that to there's a shimmy in the fin. Good observation. Nothing wrong with that observation.
No,
because you've got to be able to see, and it's good that you're seeing them.
Yep.
All right. However, all right, please don't look at I mean, other things we can pick up is that Benny leaks into the dorsal fin.
Yep.
Right. You know, no koi is perfect.
I tell you what, though, what I'm looking at what size did you say that is? 79?
69 now.
69. Well, even for 69, look how powerful the backbone still is. That's a powerful, that can still hold a lot of mass, that body structure, can't it?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But Coley, I wasn't picking on you, mate. It's just I wanted to use that example for training people's eye away from that sort of stuff. And it's not me being a dealer. It's me. This is how we look at koi for the greatness of the koi. And then, of course, we will pick out the imperfections, right? But does it take away? That's the thing that people need to understand. Does it take away from the whole quality of the fish? Yes, but is it that intense that it's really going to make a difference? No.
I mean, I always think that obviously the most delicate thing that's going to be damaged on that fish is the fins. That's the most thinnest, delicate part of the fish. And for a fish to get to 3 or 4 years old, in and out of mud ponds, in and out of seine nets, in and out of bloody pan nets, in and out of bowls, for those fins to look as good as they are is a miracle, I think.
Dave, you picked this as a toes eye as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mate, you need to learn, right? One thing, right? You need to behave yourself because that is fantastic, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got right, Paul. It's for sale, mate. Do you want it?
No. Male.
It's male.
Yeah, what do you expect? What size do you expect that fish to get up to, though, as a male fish? Do you see it?
I think probably I would think realistically 75, maybe 76, and I think that's probably where it may end up, if I'm honest. But there again, it depends. I know the pond it's gone in, and the guy doesn't push his koi particularly hard, so that may be where it ends. I don't know, but this is going back to where I was saying that, you know, how many people actually. I mean, I know a few very good hobbyists that can really push koi and grow koi, but there's a lot there that are just happy to have them and just let them plod along.
Yeah. For a time, for a time machine to go back and just buy male fish and end up with fish like that.
Oh, I think
without the real cost and the trouble that comes with them.
I mean, 10, 15 years ago, I think, you know, female, but definitely now, breeders have got good males every year. And I'm not going to say they're ever going to reach what a female will, because they won't at the moment. But for somebody to want a really, really high quality pond of koi at about a third or a quarter of the price of what it would be for the equivalent female, it's a way a lot of people are thinking now, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, definitely give it a lot of thought to go down the route of excluding all females.
I lost an amazing Yoshino Kahaku a few months ago, mate, down to an egging issue. I mean, it's not cool, is it? You know what I mean? Gutting, to be honest, but
you hear about it every year, don't you? You see a koi, somebody gets it to 80, 85, or even nearly 90. They've had it 5-6 years, and all of a sudden, boom, egg bound for a reason, and end up losing it. And you know, have you lost many, Paul, that way?
Not with egg bound. Lost fish.
Yeah,
definitely had my sort of like crying at the top of the garden moments. You know? Jesus, and at one point nearly give up the hobby because of it. You know, sort of like
well, it can be so disappointing, can't it? It's hard.
Yeah, devastating.
Yeah.
What you do with them. Jesus,
So, Rachel, again, asks, out of interest, why males over females or vice versa?
Yeah, Paul.
So for me, the reason why I go for females is because the females, most of the time, are able to get up to the bigger sizes. So I've got that potential to get them over 80 cm, and to go with that, bigger bodies and the big structures that they have. Males, the kind of males that I've come across never achieve that. They always look, in years ago, they always looked like racing snakes, and they were always they never got it on. So when I was talking about that Sankey that I showed you all earlier, which was from Takigawa, that's female, not being fed well, and it'll take me till probably definitely all this year, if not next year, to get some body on it. That looks like a kind of male fish, and it just, when you put them in, for me, when you put them into a show vat, they're just knocked sideways by the big females. They're just bigger, more powerful. But they do die. Females do die, and you lose them for various reasons. Often or not, you never know why it's just keeled over and died.
Well, do you think they're pushed too hard now, Paul?
Yeah, of course we do. It's ridiculous. That where is it? Momotaro, and he's put it in the 4-year-old fish that's something like 80 odd cm.
Well, now you're getting toe side down there. Is it 60 cm?
Jesus. Yeah, I had a great conversation with the guy who has Yamamatsu, Matsunosuke bloodline.
Yeah.
Sakai, they call him Sakai, and he was explaining to us all about it. He was talking about fish that are going to achieve those kind of sizes from his bloodline of being 10-year-old, 12-year-old before they get up to that kind of size. And we were saying, but everything's 5 and 6 and 7. And he went, no, you've got it to get them. So that what his big thing was the Benny quality, and I believe this is what he was getting at through the Japanese translation, was brittle Benny, which was bad and it fell apart, and elastic Benny that's very elastic and it stretches, so that as it grows, this elastic stays in great condition. And he was showing us different fish last year, in 2024. And it was amazing to watch his fish and the explanation that guy gave. But you've got to wait for them coming through. Yeah. And lots of people have said to me, I've got a video of it where he's putting fish into a fish house, and then all the fish, but with amazing bodies from that fish farm. And yet, you talk about it, and Matsunosuke, like, I would imagine, Dave, you in your history lesson could give us a history lesson about Matsunosuke fish coming in and various things being done with them, 20 odd years ago.
Yeah. I mean, who was, I forget the name of there was a dealer who used to bring in a lot of.
There was a magazine 25 years ago, there was a magazine which was highly, it's gone now. And there was a whole series of guys who used to be bringing in Matsunosuke fish to show at the national. And if it didn't have Matsunosuke bloodline, it was.
Where did that come from, Crafty?
What the fuck was that?
I mean, it's like now. I mean, the grand champion at the All Japan. How old would it be now? 5, 6 maximum.
Yeah,
5 years ago. 10, 11, 12.
Yeah. Now they're so young.
They're forcing them because they want that skin to look still young at that size. And I'd love to know the percentage that ever lived beyond 7 or 8 anymore.
Well,
So, Colin Holland, evening, Cole. Do you think the Japanese are working on bigger frame males in the breeding program?
Definitely.
100%.
That's definitely going to be going on.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, in the last 10 years, you've seen the prices of males. They're not near the females, but they are certainly stronger, being priced stronger now. Because the breeders, they're looking at a male that's in a bowl and a female at Nisai, and if the quality and everything else is matching, they're thinking, why am I selling this one for that and that one for that?
Yeah.
So the price of males has definitely gone up now to what it was even just 4 or 5 years ago. Now the breeders are definitely charging more for their top
And
males.
Dim, are you primarily getting your fish from the southern breeders?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm getting some from the north. Yeah, I'm getting some varieties from Niigata area, but primarily I do all my selecting down south. Yes, yeah.
And do you think that in the south they're able to? There was Nisai that are coming out of mud ponds in the November time because of the warmer weather, the hotter climate down there are bigger.
Oh,
but that's not a genetic thing. It's just
no. It's just they're going in the mud pond earlier and they're coming out later, and the temperatures are higher down there, so they can feed more.
And the reason why I ask that is, as somebody who buys and looking for the bigger fish, should I be buying my fish down at the south so that I'm getting that benefit early on, or does it even itself out once you bring them back to the UK? It makes very little difference, because that was something that I noticed. I went first 2 years in the south, huge big Nisai. When I went to Niigata for the first time, I was quite struck by it was often I would see Nisai high 40s and early 50s, and it struck me, God, these are way smaller. And it was, do they catch up? And I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm not sure. And do you see your fish being bigger all the time?
Yeah, I mean down south, generally speaking, as long as they've had the weather, not too much rain and everything else, Okawa, his Nisai Gosanki, 53 to 57, 58. Ogata, pretty much the same, at least.
So you're probably looking around 6 cm to 10 cm difference.
Yeah.
However,
it's the body as well. It's the
mass.
It's the frame.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you cast your mind back, so last year, in the north of Japan, Niigata precinct, it was a very poor showing across the board.
Yeah.
With mud pond results, there wasn't what I would consider a lot of wow coming out. However, the year before was the complete opposite, where I think that the koi coming out of there from Niigata the year previous was just pretty much outstanding in comparison to previous and normal years, and that was mainly down to the fact that the weather was so warm up north.
Yeah.
That again, the environment was just at the right condition for them koi to pack on. But that become a problem in itself, especially with getting them back, because when it comes then to pricing them fish,
Yeah.
You're looking at, normally you'll be looking between 600, 900 quid for a Nisai, depending on quality and size from Niigata. Then you're putting them fish up another 300 quid because you're only getting 2 fish back in a box rather than 3, 4, or 5. So that cost, and we've been asked a question. It was something that was on my list anyway, Dave, and I'm going to purposely come to you.
Yeah.
But the shipping cost is so big that when you've got what I try and do as a dealer is look at how many fish I can bring back in a box, because it keeps the price point for the consumer, the customer, lower.
Yeah.
However, when the only fish you can buy are 50, 55 cm, and you're only getting 2 or 3 in a box,
it limits you.
That really pushes the price of your Nisai up.
Yeah. Well, it's putting the market only to a few, isn't it? Then.
Absolutely. So you're sort of doomed if you do. You're doomed if you don't. Right. What do you do when it comes to shipping, Dave?
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, I know what goes on. All right. Yeah. But with the person with the most experience of bringing koi in, all right, can you just give a heads up of not how much, but what you are charged for periodically in in the fees for getting a fish from Japan to the UK? Number one, you've got your price per kilo.
Yeah, price per kilo, which, as we all know, can vary from whatever the exchange rate is on that day to that day. So hence why we don't give a price for Azakari until the following shipment, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen to the yen. I mean, like during COVID, boxes went from, nearly trebled in price just because of COVID. So obviously you've got that yen in kilogram in yen. Then you've got, once it gets, obviously you've got to get an agent to do the clearance at Heathrow. They'll charge you, depending on the size of your shipment, they'll charge you an X amount overall, or basically an X amount per kilogram of the shipment. I mean, the list, I've got documentation list. You've got vets built, the vets inspection, health certificate.
Joke.
Yeah. I mean, we collared one the other week. We fell out. Their working hours are, I believe, 9 till 4:30. So if your shipment clears after 4:30 in the evening, it goes from something like £120 for the vet to 300 and something pound, just for him to stay a little bit later. So you've got that as well. So there's so many different costs. There's a charge for sundries for when they open the boxes. Yep. But everything has got a charge. I'm a bit fortunate from where I ship from, because I don't get what you get sometimes, which is a trucking fee.
Trucking fee, bomb inspection fee.
Check. I don't get none of that applied to where I ship from. My fish, I don't get charged by the breeders I go to. I just pay the yen rate, what that is in kilogram, and that's it. So I don't get none of that applied to me down south to the farms I go to.
Overall, you've got 6 individual charges, generally, just to get a box of fish from Japan to the UK.
Yeah.
And again, like Dave said, the fluctuation is immense. So the war in Ukraine caused a massive issue. The war in Iran at the moment has caused a massive issue because fuel prices have increased. And not only that, they close the airspace. And Japan being the other side of the globe, believe it or not, they fly one way around the globe. They never... And Lee actually educated me on this a few weeks back. They go against the way that the Earth turns to shorten the flight, so therefore the cost of that transport is less because it's in the air longer, in the air a shorter amount of time. When the Iran kicked off, they're going to and from the opposite way round, so therefore it's up higher. Fuel costs then go up because that includes aviation fuel, all right? And that all them charges get passed on to shipping. It's absolutely insane.
I mean, the Ukraine business has obviously because obviously we used to fly back from Japan, what was it, 12 hours? Now we're getting 14, 15, 16 hours. So obviously...
Just to bypass a country.
So obviously the companies are charging more now per kilogram. And it's a shame, really, because I don't know it always happens when the yen rate is very good, which it is good at the moment. It's not been like this, you're getting back to 2005, nearly 2006 levels with the yen over 210, 212. And it seems every time we get something like that happen, which in theory should make it easier to bring koi in and a bit cheaper, does something happen in the world to put the shipping up? So
you've also got Bob saying, and the further north you are to get to Heathrow, it's extra money and time. So again, Dave was caught on the M25 for 4 hours today. Sorry, mate.
I mean, today it's been my whole day. I left the house this morning at 7 o'clock because obviously you daren't get caught in an accident and not get there to collect your fish. So it's a whole day, and I literally got back in at 6:20 after spending just over 6 hours coming back from Heathrow, where it should have took 2.5. So,
I'll ask you to fill because my dogs are about to go mental because the missus has just pulled up. So.
and if it's like you, Crafty, if you're paying a member of staff to go and do that, that's got quite a cost to it, hasn't it? So basically, yeah, that cost of that fish in Japan can dramatically go up by the time you get it back here to your pond, without a question. But it's not us putting it on; it is the charges.
And that Dave comes back to you. Apologies for the dogs. That comes back to you, Dave. So when you're bringing your koi back from Azakari,
yeah,
all right. Sorry, Paul, not you, Dave.
Right.
Excuse me. When you're bringing your koi back from Azakari, Dave, have you sorry, Paul. Let me get that right. When you're bringing your fish back from Azakari, Paul, have you pre-agreed a price with the dealer?
No. I've just got to sit back and wait and see what the cost is.
Yeah.
And it's always twice as much as you thought.
No, I've got it now. I've got a good idea. I do have a good idea of what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean that's Kahaku from Sakai Company. That came back on 55 kilos by itself. That wasn't that funny, dear.
That hurt. It's like during the pandemic. The year before the pandemic, I bought 2 quite nice shower from Ueno, Nisai.
Yeah.
Obviously, then shipping during the pandemic was difficult, and the prices, it was actually cheaper just to give Ueno-san the growing on fee and just leave it there because the shipping was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a thought. That's a good thought.
Then we finally got back after 3 years, and Ueno-san picked us up at the train station, and he started laughing, and he said, "Your showers." I went, "Oh, okay." One was 88, one was 85, and one came...
kilos. This is each box.
This is size 85.
Size, right?
Yeah, 88 cm, 88, 89 cm, and one was 85, and one came back in. I think it was a 72 kilo box.
Wow. Yeah.
And I shan't say what that was, but that was a lot of money, as you know.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of money.
It was a good fish. I mean, the customer got a great fish, and I said to him, to be honest, if you'd have given me an awful lot of money, I couldn't have bought you that fish in Japan for that much. So he's actually got, in one way, a really cheap fish, because Ueno-san is very reasonable on Azakari. Very, very reasonable. And if you add all that up with the cost of the initial purchase,
I'm trying to think of Azakari costs. I'm sure it varies between 50,000 and 70,000.
Yeah, Ueno's 50,000 for the. I mean, it's only when you get to much bigger he changes it. Okawa is 50,000 up until 65 cm. Then it goes to 70, I think. Ogata is 50 at Nisai, 70 at Sanzai, 100 at Yonsai, and then there's they're all different.
Yeah. An answer to that question that came up, Anthony. Yes, that's the total weight of that box. Yep. If you put it on a scale with the fish in it, the cardboard around it, and the water inside it was 55 kilos.
What did yours come back as, Paul?
What size of the fish? The weight.
The weight, yeah.
The weight, 55 kilos. That one.
55, yeah.
It was. I brought in the UK 6 at that time. It was 6.
Yeah,
and that was the biggest. That was the biggest one. 55 kilos, one fish in it.
And that's the thing. One fish means one cost.
Yeah.
So if you are thinking about doing Azakari with your dealer, decent dealers out there will look to ensure that they keep that shipping fee as low as possible for you by trying to fill a box to come back. So, like in Yoshino at the minute, I had one Azakari until recently, where I purchased 2 more. So my thought process is on that I can get 3 fish back in a box. Fingers crossed. So I it's going to be 2 and 1, or maybe keep it out there for another year just to bring one box with.
We do that, Crafty. If I've got one customer's koi out there as Azakari and it can go in with a box in mine, all he'll do is pay half the box cost, because
absolutely, and that's how it should be.
I don't just go and say, let's just pluck a figure. Let's say they're 350 quid a box. I don't just say your shipping's 350 quid. If it's 350 quid and I've got one fish in there and his can squeeze in, then he'll get half that charge. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
We try to make it as much affordable as possible for people, in fairness. Because, I've got 3 new customers doing Azakari with us this year, and you want them to have a good experience. We can't guarantee
you'll never, and that's actually a good link into part of what I wanted to cover. The experience is good. Now, Paul already touched on it earlier with regards to, and I'll use his phrase, putting your ducks in a row, right? What happens, right, is the contract between the customer and the dealer, or the customer and the breeder? Where is the contract?
Dealer.
Because it differs to different people I speak with.
Everything I've ever done is all through the, how was it? Yeah, can change. Yeah.
What the thing is, if you're over there,
depends who's getting the money. Depends who's getting the money, innit? Who you getting the money?
Right. But you're in Japan, you're sourcing the fish that you want that Japanese breeder to grow on for you.
Yeah.
Right. We are the agent for you.
Yeah.
Right. So the money comes through us because we've got the pet shop license.
Yeah.
Right. So therefore it comes through us to the breeder. Right. When that fish fails to show on harvest, or that fish comes out with poor results, who is it to put it right? Should it be put right?
It seems as though it's a custom and practice for it to be put right. Certainly with Nisai, and anything that I've had as a client. I'm trying to think of anybody. I don't think of the ones that's gone wrong. I don't think anybody's turned around and gone, "You're getting nothing." They've always, they have. They've always had an alternative that's come through, or offered you an alternative. I've seen it once where it's been rejected. Didn't float the guys, but wasn't me. It didn't float the boat when they looked at it. And then another one has been cobbled up. But it must be hard for a breeder to come up with a fish. It dies as between 2-year-old and 3-year-old. It dies, and then all of a sudden he's got to come up with another 3-year-old fish. Where's he had that?
It's not. See, and this is the difference, right?
Well, it is different.
From a consumer point of view, it's on getting a replacement. From the breeder's point of view, he has just lost a hell of a lot of money by replacing a 3-year-old with another 3-year-old that is worth X amount of money. And then that becomes a big issue between the dealer and the breeder as well.
Yeah. I've no idea on that score. What the
dealer trying to pull it all in, Paul. Just to put things on a balance.
It can get awkward. It can get very awkward, especially with the breeder, because you've only got to look at now. If you just go online now with Dainichi, Sakai, Momotaro, look in their rules now. We'll give this for color loss. We'll give this dependent on color loss. Yeah. We'll only give this if death, or we'll only give death over a certain value. The breeders have changed it in the last 4 or 5 years an awful lot. I mean, years and years ago, when the auctions first started, it was 100% replacement if it was male and not female, or it died and all the rest of it. But now they're even getting into the terms and conditions. If the koi is a value of X amount, on death, we'll pay back 80%. Some are 75% of the value. And then if it loses its quality during the Azakari, they'll assess how much they give you back to the amount of color loss or quality loss there's been. So it is getting a bit. There's a lot.
I think from my side of me as a buyer, and I think
Yeah.
you do understand that there's a certain amount of risk, and that
Yeah, of course.
it is a chance you take. And if it's pointed out to you at the early stages, look, if it does die, you get nothing. Then
Yeah,
you're gonna shy away from Azakari, and you're gonna go, right, let's ship it back to the UK and I'll take the risk on that.
Yeah, I think that's the key to it, is having that
It's
exactly to
communication.
know where you stand at the time,
Transparency.
so you can say yes or no, or I'm not risking that, or I am going to risk that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's
And that's key to going to Japan with someone who you trust to a certain extent. You can have a conversation with. That's somebody who's going to lay it on the line to you and say, right, this is what it is. It's X, Y, and Z. Not shilly-shally about those things, those hard decisions. They actually tell you before you get there. And that's, again, from what anybody who's wanting to go out there, pick your dealer. Have a good conversation with that person. Have a relationship with that person. One thing you haven't touched upon at all is the social side of this. It's
Mate,
a massive,
we're getting there. We've still got time, Paul.
a massive.
Mate, we're talking about fish.
You were
Not
talking
going
about
out
you
with
were
fish,
talking about that Ueno. We went down there like 2002, and he took us to the restaurant, and he went, "Oh, this is a Japanese. This is something very Japanese in my part of the world," and it was raw chicken thighs. Raw chicken thighs. Go on, took into them. Took me ages to chew and chew.
Have you had the raw? What they call it, a delicacy, doesn't it? Is it chicken skin, raw chicken skin?
Oh yeah.
And you take a bit out of being polite, and there you are an hour later still chewing it.
Wow. Took me forever.
Yeah.
I'll never forget going out with Odekan, and he put this fish in front of me, mate. Head, guts, tail, fins. It was there. It's like you have to stomach.
Yeah.
You have to go for it, don't you?
You have, mate. Odekan as well. The first time I went out with Odekan, we went to a lamb restaurant, and he ordered me sliced raw lamb's heart, and I was like, "That great."
Mate, I would have smashed that right in.
Oh no, I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
Mate, I would have had a go on that, no problem.
Oh, I had a go, but it was interesting.
In October we had raw intestines. That was a tricky one.
Oh, that's always a delicacy. Yeah, when
raw
people
intestines.
push that on you.
Yeah, the toasted ones were nicer.
Dave, you'll answer this. Do they do the Mickey Mouse down south?
They do.
Do it everywhere.
100%.
In Japan.
It's done everywhere.
Old Toyota, Danichi Toyota, man. He is the king of it.
So, Steve Knight has asked, I'm assuming it's you, Steve, is it a show of goodwill if a fish doesn't come out of a mud pond in order to keep the customer of the dealers or the customer of the customers?
It's
a
tricky one, Crafty, because at the end of the day, if you take a customer, and let's just say that customer wants to blow £10,000 on a koi, it might be a koi that I would have never bought.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think you have to look at the size of the operation as well. So when you look at, I'll pull out Yamaguchi, Yoshino, who were the people that I do Azakari with. I've done Azakari with Kibi down south as well. But when you look at Yamaguchi and you look at Yoshino, they are very small farms dealing in high-end koi. One fish for them is a huge loss if it doesn't come out, because some of the prices, they're not cheap fish, and rightly so. But if they lose them, imagine 11 fish not coming out of a mud pond. And if they're graded at, just a figure out of thin air, 2,000 each, English money, that is 22 grand that not only have they lost, but they've then got to replace. So it turns into 44 grand. That's a huge loss. And that's just if it was just one dealer. If they lost across lots of other dealers as well, more than 11 fish coming out, like even when results aren't what are expected, and again, Yamaguchi won't mind me saying, some of his fish he didn't have the best season last year, right? A lot of people there were really upset with the results and expected more. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
that is just so bank breaking for some small dealers to be able to put them mistakes or them expectancies wrong. And this is why some dealers don't even offer Azakari, or they're very selective in the fish that go into the Azakari ponds as well. You know, based on those exact circumstances. So there is an element of goodwill, but also when you look at the Japanese tradition, they also want to make sure that you're right before you walk away. However, they are becoming more commercialized with it. And I weren't fully listening, Dave, because I was doing something. But looking on the auctions, it literally says with Azakari, but then lists a load of potential defects and what percentage of the money you're going to get back as a result. You know, so they're not blind to the fact that it can happen. It's like any of us. We look at a koi with a goodwill that fish is going to come out as the expected, but they're living creatures. You just don't know what's going to happen.
I think the biggest thing is, Crafty, if we think ever a breeder puts 200 tatigoi or whatever he wants to call them into a mud pond and 200 real good quality koi come out, just doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
So you're joining in that gamble like the breeder would.
Here's a bit of live TV for you then. Live TV, little bit of negotiation. I've just bought from Crafty. I've just thought of this. A Sangi from Yoshino, and it's staying Azakari. So how do I stand with that Sangi if it suddenly dies, Crafty? Are we?
He'll tell you
our ducks in a row, mate, did we?
Am
Risk is all yours, Paul.
Have I just
Hang on. What if that Sankey, right? Let me spin this, right? What if that Sankey comes out 60 cm, full body, and worth 10 times what you paid for it?
Yeah.
Are you going to cost up the difference?
If it doesn't, if it's the other way, I'm coming knocking on your door down a perfect practice. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
And Crafty, I can remember over the years, I've been let down by some of the biggest breeders in Japan when it's gone wrong with fish that's arrived in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that happen? I've never seen that actually happen, where I've never witnessed dead fish coming in, even though they've been in a box for 40 hours. I've never witnessed a fish dead coming out. I think they've died afterwards for whatever reason, but I've never actually seen them dead on arrival.
I've seen in one particular year, and that's not that many years ago, during COVID, a lot of dead koi, Paul.
Get that. Just get that comment back up.
Come on, have his heart out, Paul. Come on.
Now, I love the fact that Paul got up and shut the door before you asked that question. Yeah, because the missus had just walked past and absolutely knew nothing at all about that.
Crafty, that could help in your negotiations about Azakari, that. Yeah, I've got her on speed dial anyway, Dave. You don't know that, though. You don't know.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Let's bring... anything else that you want to add? I'm going to bring up a couple of other... In fact, let's bring this image up, Paul, because I think this was partly the start of your journey.
Oh, yeah. This was the trigger point in Japan. So went to Japan, and I thought I knew good fish. I thought, I can pick a fish. And then we'd been to various breeders, and then about 2 or 3 days into it, it happened to be the Arishima Shore that they have down there, and this is Sakai Fish Farm, and I was blown away by this Sangi. It was absolutely I just mesmerized by the sheer size and scale of the thing, and it was every aspect of it. And you know how somebody picked up about earlier on about one of Dave's koi and sort of said, "Oh, it's got a fault in it." If you look about a tenth of the way back on its dorsal side, on its right hand side, you can see it's got a different color benny.
Yeah, it's very, very minute.
Yeah. Oh, but that's still 2 color benny.
Yeah.
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 Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the point about this whole thing with the jack. They don't. That's the thing that I learned about this, is just look at that koi and just appreciate how absolutely stunningly brilliant.
Well, Paul,
it is.
you've probably seen this, Paul. I mean, you can get a breeder to bowl a lovely kahaku, and that can have Benny in its front peck.
Yeah.
That can, and they don't bat an eyelid. They will not reduce the price thinking that's a demerit. Whereas obviously as a dealer in the UK, the minute you bowl somebody that particular issue, they'll go, oh, is that cheaper because of that? Whereas the breeder doesn't. If the quality of the koi is good, the breeder doesn't even take that into account.
Yeah, I've got.
There's a very small. There's a technical that probably not a lot of people would know about on this particular Sankey that isn't there, and that's in the Tejame. The Tejame, which is the streak in the bins.
It wants 2 and 3
instead of 2 and 1. It's a weird thing that they look for. They want an odd number on one side and an even on the other.
Isn't the ultimate 2 and 3?
2 and 3 is the pinnacle.
Yeah, the pinnacle.
You know,
and yet we would want it uniform here.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Right, it's a deal breaker. I don't want it. It ain't got the Tejame.
Yeah.
You know, and that's as silly as that sounds, right? That isn't that silly.
And there was
all the other qualities.
There was Kabuto. There was another at that show. There was a fish that I'd never seen, a very old variety. It shows you every day is a learning day, and it was a Kabuto, and I absolutely adored that gunmetal grey green colour that was
nice fish
coming through, and how that particular fish isn't more popular in the UK is beyond me, because that particular variety, they're stunning when you see them close up.
When you see good ones, a lot of them get mistaken for ghosties and stuff. But possibly. I believe off the top of my head is an old sort of Roman style headgear which when you look at the Kabuto, you can see that sort of frame is over the head, and that's why it got the name Kabuto, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure I read that somewhere.
Stunning koi, and I'm surprised there's not more of them in the UK, because when you see them close up and you see the reticulation of the fish, and you see that green kind of metallicness that goes with them, absolutely gorgeous. And yet it's very rare that any of the dealers bring them into the UK or you see
that, ladies and gentlemen, was somebody showing the pure love and passion that they see in the koi. When he was explaining what he's seen, you could see the deep enjoyment, and
see the cogs working.
You couldn't you, mate? You could see he was just absorbed by what he'd seen. You know that, and that's what koi is about, isn't it? To be fair, I mean, when you critique that fish, I mean that's as good as a Sankey's going to get all day long, isn't it?
It's really nice.
There's not many people going to own one like that, is there?
No.
I've got one in my pond here, Dave, and that. He's only partly like that.
I mean, if you want to be that critical, you can go to the All Japan and look at the Grand Champion, and you can pick faults if you really, really want to do that to it. You know, there's no such thing as a koi with no issues whatsoever.
Thank you very much.
Samurai helmet.
Beauty exploration. There you go. I know I'd seen something like that, but then when you see the Kabuto, Kabuto, that's when you see the head pattern that's formed from the actual fish. That's where it gets its name. You know, mad weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
How big was this, Paul? Do you remember?
Oh, 90 odd. God, it was massive. Took 3 guys to lift it out. They pick it out of one vat and then pour it into the main vat. Took three guys to lift it up, and it was huge. I mean, it's massive, and the quality of it at such a big size, like really testament to the ability of Sakai Fish Farm. It's really, really good.
You know, but well, to be fair, mate, that we're not going to end it on that, because it's actually. Well, that's a fantastic fish. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. However, I've bring some and I'm going to bring in something else on the screen if I can work out how to do it.
I tell you, Dave, you were talking about a cower, and there's two brothers that run a cower. Yeah,
Yonichi and Yuji.
Yeah, the taller one of the two brothers was the one that really knew all his shit about fish.
Yeah,
and the other one seems to worry about the business side of things.
Oh, well, I mean, Yuji is basically, he was educated. He can speak really good English. He was educated outside of Japan, so obviously he does all the paperwork side of things, invoicing, sorting the shipping out. Yes, Yonichi is. I mean,
I've got on a house supply with a shorter one.
Yeah, Yuji. Yeah,
he has a love of whiskey. And
when
the only guy that's ever introduced me to a Japanese whiskey that I've gone, bloody hell, that.
Yeah. Well, I've had some fabulous nights out with him, and I've even tried. He's quite good though, because I've seen a koi maybe during the daytime. Then I try and negotiate it about 10 o'clock at night when he's had a bottle of whiskey, and do you know what? He sticks firm.
Yeah, I took one with me back from the UK back across there. I knew nobody would ever have, and I sort of got a stunning koi out of him through it.
Yeah, they're a great family. I mean, I've been going there for so many years, and I've seen their kids grow up from being. I mean, they're all married with children now, so I've known their family and their children since their kiddies was 6 and 7. When I used to take them all One Direction stuff over, and they used to go mad for it because we could get a lot of stuff in the UK they couldn't in Japan. You see, so but yeah, great family, very good.
So I took them out a bottle of this stuff, right, which is. Because I know, right. So I have two hobbies.
What's that? Dr. Pepper?
No. It's Lagavulin, right? So Parks and Rec. You know the thing, Parks and Recreation. The guy in there goes with that, and that's the distillery he goes to. It's one of my favourite whiskey. I've got two hobbies. One is whiskey, and the other one's koi. I will happily talk about whiskey any day of the week, and pontificate about whiskey. I'm a little bit shyer when it comes to koi and sort of like the nuances of it. But whiskey I talk about all the day.
What's the most expensive hobby out of the two?
Oh, whiskey by a country mile. Jesus.
Is that mainly Japanese whiskey, Paul?
No, Japanese whiskey. I've never had until I saw that guy at a cower. I've never had a Japanese whiskey that I thought came up to the levels of an Islay, for instance. It just doesn't. They're expensive, but they just don't hit the mark. Except that one. And now I know you know him. I'm gonna get in touch with you, and I'm gonna send you a question because all I know is that when it got converted over, it began with the letter D. That was what it was.
I'll find out.
To find out what that was.
Yeah,
me and him got drunk on it. I was bringing out my bottle, and he was determined to beat me. And it's sort of like my name's Scottish anyway, so he was absolutely determined to find a whiskey from Japan that would be.
Well, I can find that out for you, no problem, Paul.
I look forward to that. Yeah, get it shipped across. But yeah, he's the only one that I've been able to bribe with drinking whiskey. Come with me into this little corner with a bottle and see what happens.
Yeah, they're quite old school how they do things there still, which is quite nice. You know, you can go to some of the larger farms now and it's all done, you know, very methodically and everything. But there is still something nice about going to a farm like Okawa or Ueno and doing things their way.
And the other thing we've never touched upon is what it's like to go to Japan. It's so different. It's the Japanese are such a culture that once you get there, yes, they've got things are very similar. They've got motor cars, they've got houses. Those houses have got doors. Those houses and they've got windows, but they're all just slightly different. Everything about the country is just slightly. It's like getting.
It's always slightly better. Like their toilets. Squirt hot water up your shitter.
I would say so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
While whistling a bird tune.
Yeah, but have you seen how much them toilets cost and can cost? I mean,
1,600 quid over here.
Mate, I think I've seen them up to £10,000. You can spend on
You're
one of them.
clearly
You can
Yeah.
actually on the
There's
way
the
home on the
profits.
airport.
There's the profits of koi dealers.
Actually, I've seen them. You can buy the actual toilet seat that warms up, that plugs into the wall, but that's just like a retrofit for hours.
Yeah,
But you know, you can't get one of those squirty things. You have to buy yourself a midget and keep him in the toilet.
I mean, when I first went many moons ago, there was always a, have you tried it yet? Tried what? Just let us know when you've tried it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
I love
mate.
the anticipation when you press the button. It takes a little while to come out. If you press the button, you're like that. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is.
It's the bit where you have to try and just get it right as well. Otherwise
Yeah.
it's the side of your ball bag rather than your
Yeah.
backside. Right?
I showed Yasmin, I think the last time I was there, and I pressed the button. I said, watch this. It squirted up into my face. I thought there would be some sort of thing that stopped me doing it, but nah.
So Steve Knight has asked.
There's your
Question.
friend. There's your friend, Paul.
That's him. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinks whiskey because of the pressures of koi, being a koi breeder.
I've been out with him one night, and I think we had a night on the red wine, and I think after 6 or 7 bottles of it, Yonichi's wife said, usually that's enough, because we call her the big boss. She's the real boss on the farm. When she speaks, both of them then have to curb it.
He took us to a restaurant. He took us to a restaurant where you went up the stairs, and then we went up on the top there. It was absolutely stunningly good.
Yeah.
Really good, that one.
I mean, the hospitality out there and the politeness and the friendliness is just, it's unreal.
Truly amazing.
I the biggest thing I think I tell to people when they say, what is it like? And I said, no exaggeration. It's difficult to explain just how polite, how clean. I mean, you know, you can walk down any street and you've got a drinks machine left out all night or a food machine left out all night. I mean, in the UK, that would be on its top. That'd be upside down come the morning, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No,
You know, it's a remarkable country.
Yeah. Guy came up to me.
The one thing that stands out, irrespective of what context you go to Japan, you never forget when you go. It's not a country you forget. I mean, I've been to Egypt and in places of Europe, but Japan.
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever forget Afghan, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's just my experience.
You had an explosive time, mate. What do you
For
expect?
slightly different reasons, Lee.
I mean, I wouldn't have tried to catch that bomb if it didn't look so much like a rugby ball.
It's like, but Japan does. You'll
it's
remember
incredible.
your first time out there. The one thing for me is going on business and going as a customer is completely opposite, because you, as a business, I do want to go to gardens and I do want to go touristy bit, but it literally doesn't happen. But when you're going out as a customer, again, it doesn't happen for them, but they're doing it on a very different scale to what you do as a dealer. You're doing it on 1 or 2 koi. When you've got a bigger pocket to spend and the whole year's turnover depends on your trip when you go, and it's I can imagine I'd love to go. I can imagine without all that pressure, you're taking
Brilliant, honestly. Yeah, let me tell you, it's actually absolutely stunningly brilliant. Especially if you go out with a group of lads who are up for a laugh and want to have a good time. And are prepared to give freely of themselves in a way where they're just like, prepared to let them take the mickey out of them and what have you. How's it going, Paul?
Yeah, I mean,
he's the funniest guy on the planet.
Dave Gardner, yeah.
Oh,
Dave
God.
Gardner.
Get him to tell. No, I'm not doing it on this family.
I'll tell you what, Dave. I think we'll get you on, mate, if you're up for it, because you are a good lad.
Jesus, hilarious. I went. There was a restaurant in Nagata where they do sausages. The guy had gone to Switzerland or something, and that was what he sold, was like these sausages. So and I'm celiac, so I have to be very careful of the diet that I have. So yes, it's all gluten free. We'll do this. there was a bit of a mix-up. We had 2 dishes, so I ended up with 2 lots of food coming at me, and it was like, God, guys, you're going to have to help me out here because there's like loads of food turning up. There was mountains of it. Big Dave stepped into the fray. God, didn't he? He can polish off a meal. Tell you now, he absolutely give us. And every night we had to go back to that place just for the snacks with the sausages. And Dave got filled up with sausages, and then we went out with the Japanese ones. In a funny, hilarious guy, really good, big lad. Good. There's one or two stories I could tell about him, but I better keep your mouth shut.
The first time you went, Lee, did it blow you away, your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget it, mate. From having warm corn soup on the platform of the bullet trains to, I don't know, eating raw lamb's heart. But do you know what? I went in February. Ryan invited me over in February, and man, just the snow, the environment, driving around those mountains without sushi. It just blew me away. I mean, there hasn't been anything. I mean, it was incredible. And I mean, if no one's been to Japan, it's something well worth $2,000 to get you there by hook or by crook, you know, because it's incredible. It's just brilliant. And if you love the hobby, there's nothing better, mate. It's class. It's incredible.
It's an addictive place to go to, isn't it?
Yeah,
would you guys as dealers allow somebody like myself to go there who has, shall we say, no intention, I'll put it bluntly, no intention of buying koi? Would that be a real no-no? Would that be a difficult thing to have somebody there who was going for because of the love of koi?
I tell you what, I can answer that.
They haven't got the money to buy the koi.
I think you'd be hard pushed to go over there with that mentality unless you're extremely disciplined and not buy anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult because, for example, let's just say, you know, breeders can lay on extra vehicles to pick you up because of numbers. They can take you out for meals. And I mean, I knew a dealer from Belgium, Hans, bless him, before he got hurt in an accident. I think he took probably 5 or 6 customers out there for the whole 10 days. They went sightseeing round 5, 6, 7 farms down south. And, you know, he didn't set a limit, but they spent £900 between them. One person bought a koi at £900. And yet, there was a couple of breeders took them all out for evening meal, for lunch when they were on the farm. So it's not necessarily a no-no, Paul, but it's like it's just putting that onto the breeders. It's a bit uncomfortable.
The one thing that I experienced this year, I took one of my ex-employees out there this year. Just Jack, he won't mind me saying this. I think. Because of the nature of the beast, people seem to think when you, as a dealer, you're going out to Japan and you're having a great time. Don't get me wrong, everyone loves going and picking fish and buying fish and see. But for us, it's business. So we are going from place to place to place to place. Lots going on in the head, so you can't always give that attention to the person that's with you, and can. As much as you want them involved in what you're doing, they can sometimes, you know, they want to get in there. Oh, that's nice, which is great. And then it's like, oh, how much is that? How much is that? How much is that? In which had a problem. But when you're 6 days in, that novelty is sort of wore off a little bit, and it can end up being a little bit like kicking a can, especially when you're dealing with just tozai. It's a little bit different with a bigger fish. I think there's a little bit more magic with the bigger fish. But with tozai, you're netting up 1,000 fish. You know, it can take an hour or 2 hours to get through the first sitting, then another hour to get through the second sitting. You know, and before you know it, you're in 4 hours and 3 or 4 boxes of fish that have been picked. You know.
So do you guys
have for a different reason, you know?
So do you guys have to sit prospective guests going out there, sit them down and have the hard conversation about, right, what is your budget? What do you want to spend?
No, I've never personally done. I mean, I found most of the customers would prefer to go, like Crafty said, in November, because I see most hobbyists. Do they want to go out there and buy a Tosai? I don't think so. I think they possibly want a Nisai to purchase, to bring home, or to leave. So I've never sat down with that customer, but I think the customers we've taken in the past, we always just knew they were going to purchase. Yeah.
Nisai buyers.
Yeah, we just knew they were people that would, once over there, buy 2 or 3 koi, and that's, you just sort of know your customers, don't you? Really.
And the other part of that in February, when we're picking the Tosai, and it is generally 98% Tosai purchase, to be perfectly honest, because the Nisai that are left, there's very few that are really worth buying. Very few. If you really ever see any, because in the gutter a lot of them already sold anyway, and they've brought a lot of their fish in, and they're swimming around in their ponds. The ones that are either, Azakari waiting to go out, or 2-year-old Azakari waiting for their third spin. That's nice. You're seeing them swimming around in the ponds. But when it comes to buying, if you're going for a Tosai, unless you're going for a high-end Tosai where you're spending $1,000, $2,000 to keep as Azakari, right? That is really what you should be looking at if you're going in February. Wait until your dealers bring those fish back. Save yourself that £2,000 and put it towards a trip in November when the bigger fish come out. Yeah. That would be my advice, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah, it would be for me as well. I think, yeah. I mean, you're going to get a better fish at Nisai. Well, you're going to get more of a guarantee with it, aren't you? As well, it's not such a gamble. And
there's other things go on. A lot more things go on with regards to harvest being done as well. So there's a little bit more of the bigger picture that you get to see and experience. The weather's better generally as well.
It's more relaxed. I find November for me personally is more relaxed because
not in Nagata, no way.
Not in Nagata because
carnage.
It's like carnage. But when we're booked on to go to, I speak weeks and weeks ahead. I know the days I shall be on Okawa, Ogata, Ueno, but I'm not going out there to buy 500 Nisai. We go out there and we used to probably buy 30 or 40 Nisai because these Nisais, remember, are all 50 cm plus. Whereas when you go in January for your Tosai, it's your bread and butter for the season. So there's an awful lot more pressure, I find, personally, at that time of the year than there is at Nisai, because if you don't buy any Nisai, you go, okay, I didn't buy many. But your Tosai is what you're going out there for to keep your season alive in your shop or whatever. So it's your most important trip to me as a dealer.
And very different experiences, weren't they? The south compared to the north, they're very, very different. The south is very, very organised and very set. Yeah. Whereas the north is like absolutely, you're on you're moving very quickly. Whereas I think we were lucky. We saw 4 dealers in a day in the south. Yeah, and that was some kind of world record. Whereas, 4 dealers in an hour.
I was watching some of Lee's videos. Going into places like Hoshikin or wherever you are, and the breeders put out maybe 50, 60 koi, and there's 24 of you got to draw.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
That's not fun to me.
Well, I don't think that's fun for anyone, though, is it?
No, it's not.
That's the popularity, isn't it?
But that's what it's getting a bit like up there now in late October, early November, because obviously the demand. So,
what can you? But then when you go Tosai wise, right? Again, you're going farm to farm to farm to farm to farm. Yeah. Hoping that you're going to get a new tip into a pond where you're getting first picks, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you got, you know, there's an ear on the ground all the time. You know, every now and then you'll finish one place. It's like, right, let's pop there, let's have a quick look. And then you stumble on a gold mine, you know, where you're getting the best fish.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes that don't happen. Like this year, superb. You know, the pace of the place was excellent. The snow was horrendous.
Yeah.
But the pace in which going from dealer to dealer was just on point. The year before, atrocity for me. It's like the dealers just were, the breeders just weren't open for one reason or another. And
I think that's the main frustration. You get a good year last year, and then you go back the next year thinking this is going to be just the same, and it's the total opposite. You struggle. Breeders haven't had good years, or
you know, but that reflects back in the UK, Dave, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, without doubt.
You know, when your turnover fluctuates, you've still got to try and keep your business afloat.
Yeah.
You know, and if you ain't got the right fish, it's game over. No more credits, mate. You know. I mean, we've come back some years where we've, you know, there's not been a lot of fish, and you know that season is sort of, you know, that sets your season. Them Tosai trips set your year off to me. Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a good trip, you are going to struggle that year.
You know, and you get, it's the same when you go over anyway, like on a buy-in trip as a customer.
Yeah.
You know, we're exactly, you're there for the same time we're there.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, you're looking for one or two fish, we're looking for a fish to last you a season.
I've always thought it must blow a hobbyist's mind to bits, because we're going out there, we're our budgets, you know, we know what we've got to buy fish for because we've got to be able to sell them. It must blow a hobbyist's mind.
On that bit, Dave.
If you've got hobbyists go out there with, say, £3,000 or £4,000 or £5,000, does he buy that fish on the first day, and that's his trip finished?
Yeah.
Does he like that? And it must blow their minds, because, you know, should I have bought that on day one? That's now sold, or do I wait until day 6 and then there's nothing available? I don't know how you cope with that, Paul, to be honest.
And Paul, if you've experienced where you've seen a fish undernard, I'll wait on that, go somewhere else, come back, see it. Are you getting two different prices from the day that you go and the day that you come back?
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's the prices side of things. God, that's a minefield. I tell you what did happen. We were in Nagami, yes. I'm just round the corner from Dainichi. Come round, still on the same.
Yeah, that's it. Nagami. Yeah.
Nagami. We went in there and about the second day last year, and it was to answer your question. It was obvious you had to buy that fish. It was just obvious. There's no when you see them, it just stands out like a mile. And you ask the price, and as long as the price is within your budget, then you just have to go with it. There's no messing about. You have to buy it then and there. And I really should have sent a picture to Crafty of two Nagami fish, 2 Kohaku. One of them I bought. And you just see it and you go, that's it, you know. And yes, there might be something further down the line, but the one that you've seen is still good enough to, when you bring it back to UK, to be still over the moon with it. And it's Murata. That was another one last year. His fish was stunning. I've never been to that fish house before. And we went into, it has 2 fish houses, and it was, wow, this fella's on a different planet. This guy's really, really good. Really good, his fish. And it's amazing when you go to places like that. However, there's others that you go to and you just drift away, you know. You just
okay. So that I mean, that's a good observation, Paul. All right. So quite often I feel that when dealers state that they can go from one fish house to another one year and it's excellent, but they go back the next year and the quality is not as good. Right, and I've seen that every single year. Breeders have different like qualities, like seasons where they've been outstanding, a load of crap where you might as well just cull them all rather than trying to rip me off for a price, and bang average. Right, you know, it's never always premium, never.
Yeah.
You as a hobbyist going out, you would have been to the same breeders, right? So that the breeder that you just mentioned, I didn't quite catch who it was.
Nagami,
You went in,
and I did send you the
on
picture.
a different level. Have you been there more than once?
No, first time. The one I went to more than, and it's similar to what you're talking about, is Nagoshi. You know that one?
Yeah.
Toyama, further down the coast. It's a couple of hours drive out. That one, we went last 2024, and there was some stunning Santi there. Particular style of the Santi. Yeah. And I nearly bought one. In fact, probably watching this, the fish that I nearly bought is going to the National this year, I believe. And I can't wait to see it. And I've got photographs of when it was there. And I was humming and hawing about which do I buy it or don't I? And I decided not to. And I desperately regret that. Really, really regret not buying it.
He does a lot of nice kahakus as well, doesn't he, Paul?
Yeah. He does. We the last time we went back, he didn't have as many Santis at the 2-year-old mark. And they weren't as good. And I didn't think they was good. Shallow in the body, you know, like I'm always looking for depth of a fish when I'm looking at something. And the one that I saw was quite shallow. And anyway, he then is a sort of like a come and see these. He took us into his 5-year-old and 4-year-old stuff. Wow, this guy has got some fish in the back, like really stunningly. Right, you go through his shop from the one that's on the ground with all the blue ponds. Go through his shop and keep going. It's on the right hand side. Absolutely stunning fish. How this fella hasn't hit the heights at the All Japan, I do not know. They were immense fish. But 1 year, great fish, great Santi that I was really desperate to purchase. The next year, there was nothing there. And it does just happen.
Yeah.
I did send you that picture of those Nagami fish. There's 2 of them in a bowl. And
I've got them here, mate.
There's 2 of them in a bowl. They'll be interesting to see. And this is one of these. Well, that's them. So we went in straight away, and the one on the right hand side is the one that I've bought and it's still in Japan. It's in Azakari. The one on the left hand side, Stuart here was going to buy that one, and the guy rang him up. And he was the only person that could buy that fish was Stuart. Nobody else. He wouldn't sell it to anybody else. And he went. And Stuart hummed and hawed about it and decided not to bother. And that's gone on to be a pound fish. He really, really didn't want to sell that fish. And that as soon as I saw that fish in real life, and that I went, yeah, I've got to have that. Got to have that fish. One on the right hand side. Can't wait to get that back to the UK.
I prefer that one actually, Paul. That you've
the one I've got.
Yeah. Well,
it was the one when it came out of the pond. When I pulled it, there was a whole load of us there. There was loads. He doubled up on the. Dan Adams was there. Dave was there. There was loads. Steve Rollins was there. There was loads of them, and then there was a northern lot. So we had a little competition: southern guys and northern guys. And we went in Nagami, and I saw that fish, and I dragged it out straight away. And I went, yeah,
the body on the other one though is pretty savage. Isn't it?
The Shiroji is really good as well. It's probably a little.
Yeah, I love that pattern as well. That like second down a Benny, the way it's proper, just straight over the koi.
Yeah,
and you can see the sashi so good on it.
Yeah,
I'm a bit when it's like a straight line like that, it sort of jars with my aesthetics.
It's like I think it suits that koi. I really like it. I do. That's the standout thing for me. But
that's what puts me off it as well, Paul.
Yeah, I like it. It's
people got different tastes. There's no right or wrong. It's just what that straight line for me looks too artificial. That's how I see it. I suppose that makes it unique.
Do you know what though? That's such a good fish to teach Kiwa and Sashi on.
Mate, I was thinking the same.
The depth of the Benny underneath that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But Paul, do you know how well that fish is doing at all?
No, I have no idea. No idea.
Please share that with us when you get that back, would you?
Yeah. So that's that. I bought that in November. And it was one of those things where we walked in to Nagami. We weren't seeing a great. I noticed in November 2025 that the prices were higher, and there wasn't as many fish. That was the little bits of gossip that me and Stu were talking about. There's not as much. And we walked into Nagami and there was a pond of fish and we dropped and we saw them. As soon as I saw that quality, I was like, right, I'm buying that. That's my absolutely instantaneous decision. I really, and I do not regret buying that fish at all. Can't wait to see that one back in the UK.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what bloodline they're from?
No, but I was probably told, but this old brain of mine doesn't really hang on to facts that well now.
I love Nagami Kahaku, mate.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
It's got very, very much a Matsue sort of look about it.
yeah.
The eye is Sekagu. I can't think of the bloody parent. Begins with an S. But yeah. Anyway, right. Let's start washing up because we've been on for 2.5 hours. We could probably rattle on for another 2.5 hours, to be perfectly honest. I would like to say a big thank you, Paul, to yourself.
Yeah,
Again, I'd love to have you back on, and we'll talk about the show scene maybe. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll do that.
I think everybody in the comments will also agree that you are as much as you don't like this sort of thing, Paul. You get really involved in it. The sort of backing and forth in that I really enjoy. So I appreciate you coming on and giving us your time to share some of your experiences. Show chairman of last year's North of England Koi Show, which is again happening this year. And I'm hoping to have you and Andy on in the near future so we can talk about that.
Well, let's see if we can persuade him to come on. He's never done it before. But
either or, it doesn't matter. We'll still promote it either way. But we'll save that chat. Dave, there is a trophy up for sponsorship. I think it's, what is it? The Goliath trophy.
Yeah, we'll sort something out for Dave, just so he doesn't feel left out.
Yeah.
I think I've got the baby champion on that one.
I've got the GT on that one.
We'll do it, all right?
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
It's £6,000, Dave. So anyway, that's it. End of this episode. Thank you very much to everyone that's joined in. Colin Holland has put an absolutely fantastic comment in there. Banging chat tonight, guys. Been very informative and been good to hear Dave's experience and Paul's, and having a feeling that the South could be very fashionable. And I think we need to put it on the map a bit, don't we? So I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't not agree with you anyway, Cole, because you got a big nose and harder punch than me. But great evening from Rachel. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Same time again next week, where we have got an absolutely mental guest. We might as well say what it is now so people know.
Yes.
So we've got Liam from the world of Nishikigor joining us, the owner of an absolutely banging mag. I've got a lot of good questions for him, and I think people will be quite surprised at the amount of knowledge that Liam's got. And his background, because I don't think a lot of people know about it. So I'm going to put him on the mastermind 10 question seat, I think.
Mate, it is unbelievable. He used to be a dolphin trainer. I still don't believe it.
And the minesweeper as well in the ocean.
He sat down with Narita and interviewed Narita and all sorts. So it's it'll be a good evening.
We're gonna put him under the cosh and explain why he keeps telling everyone he's an underwater welder. As well. So anyway, next week, guys, 7:30, be there or be a goldfish. There you go.
Put our name down for it, Paul. Okay, that trophy.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Dave.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have a quick chat in the back rooms after this.